This conference will now be recorded.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may I have a motion on the first resolution in this booklet of resolutions? No, we don't.
No. Okay.
No.
Make it.
Is there a second?
You should at least read the title, if not the whole resolution.
The resolutions are available for anyone who wants to read them.
I know, but for
What
minutes.
it says
What it says where?
in the book, I'll show you later.
This is not up in the online.
Okay,
That was just.
all right, here we go. Wait, well, can I have a second on this?
Second,
Okay, all right. So
for the record,
discussion.
Hannah's running a little late, whoever, she's coming.
Okay, now I'll read the title, and since it's only one sentence, two sentences, I'll read the whole thing. A resolution authorizing the town supervisor to terminate the memorandum of understanding between the town of Wilmington and Adirondack Roots. Whereas the terms of the memorandum of understanding, MOU, between the town of Wilmington and Adirondack Roots allow the town to terminate the MOU by providing written notice to Adirondack Roots. Therefore, it is resolved that Supervisor Follis is hereby authorized to execute any documents necessary to terminate the aforementioned MOU. Discussion. Does anyone have any?
Can you give us some background?
Sure.
I mean, I know we are talking about land bank now, but how we got to this decision?
Yes. Do you want us to do this one or do you want me to? Either way, it's fine. Let's do it.
Well, we had a meeting with Adirondack Roots, and it wasn't really very productive. It just was what was accomplished in the last 2 years. And there was no, in my opinion, no plan to move forward. And it's been 3+ years. And I just think it's kind of time to look in another direction to get things moving on the housing project across from the wilderness.
You know, the biggest thing that stood out to me is that the project they worked on in Keene, Adirondack Roots, literally took 20 years. And they didn't seem like they thought that was an issue. And to me, that is an enormous issue. And it seems like the land bank is ready to move much more quickly. And so that's why I would like to go in that direction.
I don't disagree. I was just wondering, just so for the audience, they knew.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. And then I think we'll do this next one the same, and we'll have Nikki chime in. This is the Move in New York program resolution. So may I have a motion on the second resolution?
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, now we're in discussion. The title of this resolution is a resolution approving and endorsing the Essex County Land Bank's application to New York State Homes and Community Renewal for funding under the Move in New York program. And I believe this one is on the website and it's in paper form here for anyone who'd like to read the rest of the text of the resolution. So Nikki, I'll now like to, if it's okay with the rest of the board, I'd like to extend the floor to you, and you can share some of the things that this resolution, the land bank sent this resolution to me and asked us to pass this as a preliminary step to get the ball rolling. And anything you'd like to say, we'd be glad to hear.
My name's Nikki Torelli. I am a Ticonderoga resident. I've been with Essex County Land Bank close to 3 years now. Move in New York is a new grant program for the state the Essex County Land Bank was chosen for the pilot program of this grant, which happened last year. We were one of three. There was the Newcomb location, there was Schenectady, New York, and there was Syracuse, New York. So we've done this project in the pilot very successfully, and that house is under contract, waiting to close as we speak. I did provide photos to Tim in case people were curious as to what these look like, because there is a lot of misconceptions about cross mods, and honestly, they are so new to the market. We are all kind of learning about them and just trying to educate everyone on them. So this resolution that we put forth, the last administration did sign a letter of support, as I think, I'm pretty sure every supervisor in Essex County at that time did sign a letter of support for us to move forward with this. So that we are at the stage now where we're identifying sites and putting in, like, we have to turn in our bid numbers. So the state has tasked us with placing 41 homes is what they would like to see in Essex County. So this will be broken down over multiple sites, including some new subdivisions, as well as some individual parcels within those towns that we're doing subdivisions for. We were approached about this land, and we were like, perfect timing. We were at the stage in the game where we can add that on. And this is just adding this to the state for reference as to this is the lots of land we have. And then we'll move into working with the Planning and Zoning Committee, as well as the rest of the local municipality, as far as how many homes you would like to see, what are the rules and regulations there. So this resolution is basically just showing that is to show and prove to the state that you as a community are willing and ready to take on affordable housing. These aren't low income, and it's not Section 8, it's affordable housing. Any one of our children coming out of college will be able to apply for these homes, and 90% of them will income qualify. Many of our teachers in our areas qualify. So just to give a little background, because there is misconception about who can purchase these homes and what do we classify as affordable housing. So now when we get this, and should we, I'm going to be optimistic and manifest this, we get this letter of resolution, we then turn it into the state, and then the state says, yes, go ahead, start your site feasibility. And then that's when the conversations would happen. This is not legally binding us to you or you to us or to this grant program. This is just stating that, in fact, your town is willing and able to participate in this. You have the land that you are willing to give us site control over to make sure that this happens, and just take it to the next step forward. This grant program is a 2-year contract. So I will say, I believe our office in the 42 years, we've only ever asked for a state extension less than 5 times. So when we sign a contract with the state for a timeline, we usually stick right in it or fall short of the timeline. So I'm here to answer any questions that anyone may have. And I will say I'm working remotely, so I apologize if there's background noise, but I'll answer all your questions to the best of my ability or get you an answer within 48 hours.
2 years sounds better than 20.
No, sir, I'm retiring before 20 years. This project will be completed well before then.
Sounds good.
Sasha did print them, the photos up there on the back table
Thanks.
of the homes that you're referencing. Is on the back table.
The cross mod. For the public and the board, can you describe what a cross mod is?
So to the best of my belief, and I've worked with the manufacturers, it's basically a modular home, but instead of being completely assembled on site, as most modular homes are, it will be completed in 2 sections in factory, and then it will be transported here. So although it gets delivered like a mobile home would be, it's in fact not classified as a mobile home. It's classified more in the modular standpoint, where it will have the MH label, which means on an affixed foundation, these properties will, or these buildings will only increase in value. They will appreciate, they will never depreciate. The walls are the same width as a stick-built home with the same insulation R factor and the same snow load for the roofing structure as well. Like I said, we did place it in Newcomb. We've had a pretty brutal winter this year, and it has held up really well, minimal settling. I think they're going to be a great fit for the North Country. It just means that we can get the homes placed quicker, faster, and at a more reasonable rate.
Thank you. Other questions?
Any basements or just on a slab?
So the one in Newcomb, we put on a fairly deep crawl space. It isn't deep enough to be considered a basement. They technically can be installed on a basement, and that would be something that we would have to look at cost-effective wise when placing them, given the ground conditions and the soil testing.
Okay, thank you.
We've already completed a lot of that soil testing and stuff, and Tim should be able to provide all that data for you. All of that has been completed previously through MJ Engineering. So we have access to all the soil tests, all the engineering documents that MJ had already done for the town on a bunch of that.
Excellent.
I've given I've given Nicole many documents. I believe that they're the most up-to-date. I've given her everything I have as far as the most up-to-date documents, but I can definitely double check and triple check and make sure that they have the most up-to-date.
And you may want to call MJ Engineering too, because I know they were the ones that did a lot of the soil testing and a lot of the prior work on that project.
Yep. I think your office would probably call MJ Engineering, right? That's how it would usually.
Yeah. So usually what happens is once we have an MOU or site control granted to us and we know that this project is a go-ahead move forward, we would take our site visibility team and link them with MJ's team, just so that they can cross-share.
Nicole did send a pretty comprehensive email that I've shared with the board, but it's pretty much completely different topics than are discussed in this resolution. So I just want to discuss this resolution for now, and then we can discuss the letter, I guess, at the next meeting or I guess in the near future. But
Yes, another question.
please.
So when we were talking to Adirondack Roots, they wanted the town to do a certain amount of the labor and prep for some of this stuff. Now, does the land bank normally work with like that, or do you contract everything out?
I would say 90% of the time, the land bank itself likes to handle all of this. It just helps with coordination to make sure that our timelines stay most effective. We're here to help the towns and support you and your communities. We're not looking for handouts or, for you to do our job. With this program, I do believe they've given us quite a bit of pre-development money. We may ask maybe some assistance with DPW or the highway department if we have to curb cut. I've not visited this property, so I'm just generally speaking, by the way. But for like lateral connections and stuff like that, we would just ask that we would have a good partnership with you. We're not asking the town to foot a bill should something erroneously arise. Then we may go into contact with you to see if maybe there isn't something that you could help out with. But I'd say 90% of the time, absolutely not. That's not typical practice for our office.
And I do think that I think it seems to me that that's where things broke down with the last time we tried to do this. There was, I think Favor didn't want to bring up the cost that they were expecting the town to foot, and things just stopped at that point. Any other discussion or comments or?
I do think that they are manufactured homes, like by classification, and not a modular, because we allow modular homes anywhere in town. And so I think that needs to be clarified, because I was under the assumption that these are manufactured homes and not modular. I know they look of the appearance of a modular home, but I was under the assumption that they are like classified as a manufactured home.
That is one of the things with them being so new. I know when you look at them online, they're classified as manufactured housing because of which they are transported. So they will come with a DMV title. But also with the new state legislature that's attaching them as a new real property tax law, so that these homes won't be the case after this year in 2027 when that new legislature takes effect. That will happen. The home will be affixed to the property just as any other stick-built home is attached to the land. which isn't the case with manufactured homes most of the time. They're saying more modular style because the thickness of the walls is thicker than what you're going to get with a manufactured home. The roof lines are a different structure. The structure, the rafter structure is built differently. There's no gypsum board. It's all drywall, completely sheetrocked. So there are differences. There are some similarities. I know the state has been working really hard to get that difference. The thing is so these homes will be built to HUD code, not local building code. So that's falls more under the federal, which actually kind of leans to manufactured housing. But when we're talking to the manufacturers, they do not refer to them as a manufactured home. They refer to them as a modular build. So differences of opinion. I'm not an expert in that field. I can only relay the information that I've received from the factory.
We'll look into it. Thank you.
Okay,
Vote.
yes,
Hannah? Can I just get a recap since I walked in
Yes.
late? Real
yes.
quick.
So this is the
Sorry, guys.
second resolution
Yep.
in the booklet.
Yep.
And there was a motion made and it was seconded, and we've been discussing it with Nikki, who is Nikki, what's your title with the land bank?
I'm a program manager.
Program manager.
Yep.
That apparently no one has any additional questions, so.
Okay.
Or wants to discuss anything,
This
so,
is the land bank one, then yes.
yes,
Darren?
Yes.
Tim?
yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Carried, all in favor.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please feel free to reach out anytime.
Thanks.
You open it for the town for if they have questions.
Yeah.
Public, if you have questions, Rick, did we lose her?
Oh.
We lost her. Never
Next
mind.
time.
Okay. Great, that's good. Okay, agenda item 2, town newsletter. This is just discussion. I think it's been at least a year. I think it's been a year or two since we've done a town newsletter, and I do intend to do one. It'll be, I believe it's usually done as every door direct mail, and I believe that that's how we should do it this year as well. If any members of the board have things they would like in the newsletter, or town employees, department heads have things they would like in the newsletter, I think that would be good. Definitely will mention comprehensive plan committee. Yep, definitely. And yeah, I'm just in the, I mean, I would like to do this. This has always been on the agenda. And now that some other things that were on the agenda have been accomplished, this has moved up the agenda. Hoping to do it in the next month or two, and just want to make everyone aware, basically. So it's not a surprise to anyone when it's finished. But I'll contact everyone when it's, I mean, you can send me anything you want in it anytime. And, when we're a couple of weeks away from it being finished, I'll remind everyone to send me whatever you'd like in the newsletter. Anyone have any comments or?
The pricing for it. So it would be printed here, or?
I haven't even thought of that. I haven't thought of it.
Okay.
It's a good question. Dawn, do you know how it's been done in previous years?
It's come out to be printed before. Am I right, Nicole? The newsletter, they sent that out to be printed, didn't they? Yes.
Is it monthly or quarterly or?
Apparently it's every decade at this point, so.
Yeah, right now it is, yeah.
When we had it, it was quarterly.
Thanks.
I mean, I think if I did it twice this year, I would be happy with that. Since it's been 0 times a year.
Mhm.
But if we could even do it once, that would be a very good start. Okay, the next item in the packet, resolution packet. Moving on to summer concerts at the beach.
I'll make that resolution. Make the motion.
Is there a second? Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion. The title is a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to schedule summer beach concerts in June. Pretty self-explanatory. This is, as far as I know, been the town supervisor's realm. The town supervisors scheduled this in years past, booked the acts, and I would like to, it's a very positive community event, and I see no reason why we wouldn't. I think we should give it a shot and see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, we can go back to starting in July, but I'd like to try starting in June this year. And as was the case with the newsletter, previously the town did receive a lot of donations, which covered a large percentage. I believe in some years it's covered the entire cost of these concerts. And then that too seems to have fallen off as far as requesting donations. But my intent is to go back to requesting residents to donate to cover the cost of the bands. And every year we have received a grant. Hopefully, it's not a very large grant, but I mean it's not nothing, that's for sure. It'll cover maybe a band or two, I would think. And then I would like to get sponsors as well. I think that's everything I have to say. And anyone else has anything they would like to say? Please.
So one of the reasons that they have never been done in June before is the beach itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the town has never wanted to promote events down there when the beach is not open, and then have people swimming and have the town responsible for promoting an event, and then have people swimming in the beach when technically it's closed until the last weekend in June. Typically we open or around 4th of July. So we have to make sure that we take proper precautions, that the beach is closed and there's not people swimming in the water during that time, because technically if we're promoting an event down there and there are people are swimming, then I feel like we could be held liable for that.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure that we're taking proper precautions to block off the beach or do whatever it is, which is probably going to cause even further certain people feelings one way or another. But and then
That's a good point. Thank you.
if you're taking this on, Tim, that's great. I have no problems with that. But in years past, at least for the last probably 10 years, Nicole has kind of been the person to do that. And then last year it was Carissa, because it had been switched to the Visitors Bureau. They had a change on employees. It kind of got switched back to the town, and then Carissa filled that spot once the Visitors Bureau didn't do that. So I just wanted to make that clear for the record of who has actually been doing this in the past, not the supervisors.
Noted. Thank you. Yeah, I did think it made sense to have the Visitors Bureau handle it, but it obviously didn't work last year, and maybe at some point in the future we can try that again. Okay, all in favor? Yeah. I guess.
Anna? Yes. Darren?
Can I ask one more question before we vote?
Yep.
Do you have, this says beginning of June, do we have like an actual, are they still going to be on Thursdays, or are they
Yes.
still going to be like
Thursday.
the first weekend June, the middle of June? Have you,
As far as I know, the first week. I mean, it's warm then, it's nice then.
Hope so.
I guess if it's not, then we'll learn, but as far as I remember, it's always nice in June, so.
And then the other thing is the Two Fly and some of that stuff had events down there during that. This won't interfere with any of that type of stuff.
I think that's in May, I believe. If it,
I think the downhill or something, the foot race thing, I think those are the June ones.
But that's on a weekend.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the 2 flies in May, I'm not 100% sure.
I think it is.
Okay, roll call vote.
Okay, we'll do it again. Hannah? Yes. Darren?
You're gonna abstain.
Abstain?
Mhm.
Okay, Tim?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Okay, the next, I guess we'll do this as discussion. Yeah, we'll start this as discussion. This discussion kind of led into my thought that we should clarify this based on our town's procurement policy. So Easter coming up. The past few years, yes, the past, I don't know, 5 years probably, the town has had an event at the park. And I'm pretty sure it didn't happen prior to that, but it's happened the past several years. So I just want to open that to discussion for the board. Do we want to continue doing that? I have no problem with it. I mean, I think it's good. I don't have a extremely strong feeling one way or the other, that's for sure. But I'd be glad to get the candy if, and there's other things we'll have to get as well. I talked to John about it for 20 minutes or so today. So there will be, we'll have to have some purchases for this, but let's just discuss it, see how everyone feels about it.
I think they had good turnout for it before. I would like to see it go myself. It's for the kids. I mean,
Yep.
Do you know like a date or?
As far as I know, it's happened on Easter.
Okay.
As far as I know, I could be wrong. No,
No. It was-
I was wrong. It did not happen on Easter.
Yeah, no, they don't do it on Easter.
Okay.
I think it's usually done the day before. Charlie's not here, is he? Yeah, I think it's usually the day before Easter. Or sometimes it was done the weekend before, depending on what the volunteers,
Well, it's not
We're
gonna be
able to
done
do
the
it
weekend
with.
before this time.
you know?
Yep.
Easter is the first week in April this year. It's early.
this, yeah.
We've had in several years, we've had a town employee who dressed up as the Easter Bunny. Also, it's somewhat unclear where the Easter Bunny costume is. So if we are gonna go forward with this, we're gonna need to locate that. But
I think that was Roy's costume. I think they borrowed it from him. I'm not 100%.
he would make a great,
But I think it was borrowed from him.
okay. Well, that's the type of thing, that's why we need to discuss this, because obviously there's at least a few things to figure out. So we need to figure out if we want to do this or not.
I'm in favor of it. Perhaps it's not going to be as elaborate as previous years just because of the time crunch, but it would be good to, figure out the moving parts of it and proceed if it's something that, would benefit the kids. I definitely agree with Randy.
Would the weekend after instead of the weekend before make more sense?
I don't know, I don't think
Spring
so.
break,
Hmm.
maybe the Saturday before.
That's what I would
Easter?
think, yeah, probably, yeah. Have any thoughts?
I don't have a problem with it. I think I agree with Laura on this. I think we're gonna be, it's good. We can do a limited event, but it's gonna be hard to get together in 10 days.
Yeah, the backdrop is MIA, the costume's MIA, the candy is TBD. So Okay, so we're going
Candy's
forward
the
with
easy
it.
part.
We're going forward.
And it's all good to go.
Nicole, do we have an Amazon account? Okay, so we could find something on there, I would imagine. That's kind of rapid shipping and,
If we can get it in time.
right.
Oh, shoot.
Do we need a motion for this or a resolution or anything, or just?
I wouldn't think so. Well, the thing is the next resolution deals with it.
Okay.
This is what inspired the next resolution. Trying to figure out how much the town supervisor is authorized to spend without board approval.
Okay, I'm going to write that as a motion.
Well, we should just make a motion on this. On the
No,
next,
I'm gonna do that separate, that you
Okay.
guys wanna have it.
okay,
Okay, so if somebody could move it and second it, and we don't need a vote, we just need the motion.
Almost.
Second.
Okay, and then we'll go from there on to the other.
okay. So this next resolution, a resolution reiterating the town's procurement policy. Is there a motion on this resolution?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, we're in discussion now. So I was trying to figure out how much the town supervisor was authorized to spend without going through the resolution process and authorizing it with the town board. And looking through the procurement policy, it seems that department heads, with the approval of the town supervisor, are permitted to purchase without board authorization items, repairs, etc., less than $1,500. So it seems that that would apply to the town supervisor as well. I'm not sure what past practice has been as far as what that number was for previous administrations, but there has to be some number because I can't call a special meeting to authorize purchase of an Easter Bunny costume. You know, like I have to be able to do some things without board authorization. So
And the voucher would just get submitted at the,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, all in favor?
Let's do a roll call. Anna?
Yes.
Darren?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Laura?
yes,
Randy?
Moving right along, this is just a discussion item. So I did look into this with not with our distinguished colleague in the front row, but with another town attorney. And I was told, and this definitely makes sense, and this is in line with what's in the municipal handbook or town's handbook. To do the assessor salary increase the way that we voted on it, I guess a month or so ago, we'll have to enact a local law to do that. It's not that we can't do it. It's just that there's more bureaucratic hoops we have to go through to do it than simply by resolution. So I definitely think we should do this, and I'm opening the floor for discussion.
I'm happy to draft it. My suggestion would be that you would increase it by X amount with a yearly increase by Y. So you never have to do it again. 3%, 2%.
We usually do all of the positions the same percentage, basically. From what I've seen the past 4 years on the board, it's just, and that you don't need a local law to do that when it's part of the budget. It's just,
Yeah.
when it's
Correct
not
me
part of the
if
budget.
I'm wrong, is the whole reason that we have to do the local law is because it's a midterm
Correct.
salary increase, where if we would do this during budget time, we could change their salary to anything we want, because basically we do a local law at budget time to adopt the budget. And have a public hearing and all of that.
I have talked to the way that for the public and the board, the way that Wilmington hires assessors, the elected system is it's more of an old-fashioned way of doing it. The more contemporary way is to just hire someone on a part-time basis in a town like this. And really, that's what I think our assessor's office thinks should be done. I think that's definitely what Favor was really strongly, at least hinting, he thought should be done. I mean, I don't disagree simply because we can't fill our board of assessors. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're considering raising the salary, because we've been down an assessor for, I believe, well over a year. And at one point we were down 2 assessors. We just had one person doing what had been 3 people's roles. So we've advertised, we will continue to advertise. At some point we have to do something in addition to advertise. And the thing to do is to increase the wage. Even if we increased it by $2,000 per assessor, we would still be below Schroon Lake and Mariah, 2 towns who still do the 3 elected assessor system. And I don't think that there's a ton of towns in the area. I think the trend is definitely toward an appointed assessor. But Wilmington's still doing it the more old-fashioned way. And I think that the amount of, I don't think that we should open up that can of worms as far as changing it to an appointed assessor right now. Maybe at some point in the future, it should, if we still can't find someone in 6 months, we definitely are going to have to seriously consider it.
I just guess my thoughts on the drafting of the law is that, the idea of this is that it's a recruitment tool. So if you have a percentage in there, these folks will know that.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. Right.
I mean, I'll whatever direction the board wants me to do, I can do 2 proposals, and you guys can decide which one you want to go with. I can play with the language.
Could the language reflect like raises based upon budgetary raise?
Yeah, and then the board, I'll put it to the board can just either accept that or sort of override it through the budget process.
Does anyone else have any thoughts? Everyone is basically in agreement that we should do this. I don't see really any other option other than just limping along with 2 assessors when we should have 3. So, okay, then at the regular monthly meeting in April, we'll have a draft of the local law for the board to consider, and hopefully we can move forward towards setting up a public hearing. Okay.
On that local law, can we, Brad or Tim, however, can it be very spelled out that, like he said, there's going to be a $2,000 increase or $1,500 or whatever we decide on, and it's spelled out in there so we know, all right,
Yes.
let's just say it's $6,000
Yes.
now, they'll now be receiving $8,000.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we should decide on what that is going to be.
Didn't we discuss?
We discussed 1,200, but I was doing that under the impression that if we needed to go back and do this again by resolution in 4 months, we could do it again, another 1,200. Because I'm not sure that $100 a month is going to do it. If we have to go through all of this to raise it by 1,200, I mean, we can definitely do it this way, and that's fine. And maybe we should, but maybe we should also think about going higher than 1,200. But like I said, we could go 2,000 and we'd still be, I think we'd definitely be below Mariah, and I think we'd be significantly below Schroon Lake still, even if we went to 2,000. But I don't have a strong opinion on either way. We can do whatever, but my fear is that we do 1,200 and then in 4 months we're doing this again. But that's my thought.
I think this one, because it's the money in the race, is this permissive referendum
Yes,
for this one?
yes.
Okay, the rules change on the postings and stuff. I was looking that up today for you. So
Okay.
I'll give you a copy of that.
So to just discuss that aspect of it a little bit, Counselor. So my understanding with permissive referendum, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is we passed the law. Then there's 45 days. Any citizen who opposes this law has 45 days to collect signatures, a petition. I'm not sure what the number of signatures they need to get. We'll figure that out later, you know.
Correct.
They've got 45 days. If 45 days pass and the petition isn't submitted, it's a law. If they do successfully get enough signatures, then it's on the ballot for a referendum, probably in November. I don't foresee that there is going to be a petition circulated in the community about this, but I've been wrong before, so.
That is my understanding, but I'll have to double check all that for your monthly meeting in April. I might even have some numbers for you, how many petitions.
They don't, not doing a lot of permissive referendums in Keene? No?
No, the last one was the marijuana.
Yeah, yep.
I waited patiently.
We did it here too.
Yep.
It was truly permissive.
With the amount of numbers, and I waited patiently to see if we were gonna have to, because the town's position was we were gonna contest, if there wasn't enough, you know.
Right.
If there wasn't enough, we were gonna contest that we needed to move forward. We'll be prepared to answer in order to show, you know, I don't foresee, I mean, I don't have a read, I don't know, maybe this is an important issue that you're gonna get a.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Well, I'll have more to say about that at your.
So far, I haven't heard a lot of like hot opinion on, we don't want the assessors to have a raise, but we'll find out, I guess. As far as the number, I'll do whatever the board wants. I mean, I'm open to any number.
I think we agreed on 12. I'd like to stay there, and then
Okay.
that allows us to go up in November.
Okay.
My personal opinion.
And just straight 1,200, no.
Is that for the year? I
Yes.
mean, for this year,
Yes.
seeing how we're already
Well,
3 months, is it like
Pro rata.
retro or whatever?
it would be prorated, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. My fear is that won't, like I said, my fear is that won't move the needle, but we will definitely continue advertising and advertise more than the town has. I mean, under last year, I don't think that the supervisor did any advertisements that I'm aware of. So we'll ramp that up as well, and hopefully that'll work.
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I tend to agree with you, Tim, on the sense of, all right, we do this in April, then we wait 45 days. Well, we wouldn't have a public hearing until May, then we wait 45 days. So now it's going to be July. We basically do the budget in October. So we're really doing all this for $500 if we're prorating it. At that point, it's almost null and void if we're really doing it for $500 for the year when we're not really going to get an answer on this until July.
The law goes into effect immediately, right? Or do we have to wait 45 days for the law to go into effect?
I believe you have to wait.
What I understood is I have to send it in, and then that last box, that referendum one,
Mhm.
is if we get one, I have to send it to the
Mhm.
state.
Mhm.
But
It might be that we have to wait, yeah, it might be, so that's a good point.
I
That's
think
why
it-
that's why you'd want it, if you're gonna or not pro rata
Why don't we do retroactive?
for the start of the year.
Good point.
Whatever the board, I mean, I'm just drafting here.
Lots of good points being made.
I mean, that's fine, retroactive, but that's not gonna entice anybody else for this year. That's just gonna, give the assessors there that's been working shorthanded
Yep.
a little bump, which I agree with. But in the end, it's really probably not gonna matter till budget time because I don't see anybody else jumping on the bandwagon saying, oh, well, we get $500 extra now. We better jump on that because it's not gonna be taken away come October or whatever.
Maybe we'll get a tank of gas or two, maybe.
look a little bit when it's at some of the neighboring towns and what they do.
I'll leave the amount blank.
Yeah, and I'll get Mariah, Scroon. Essex, we're higher than Essex, I will say that, which surprised me. But we're way below Scroon and we're pretty significantly below Mariah. As far as other towns in the county, I'm not sure. Those are the ones that I know about.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the 1,200. Doesn't seem like anyone has strong opinions on it, but I'd like to look a little bit more at some of the neighboring towns as well.
Think that makes sense? That makes sense, so.
And my whole thought about it, and we've had the discussion, is if we add all three assessor salaries up now.
Yep.
We're pretty sure that we can not hire another assessor, even if we took all of those assessors and paid somebody based on what the other towns are. I mean, I know a lot of the towns that have sole assessors are paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and we're at something like combined 20.
Right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I think overall a raise is needed, whether we stay in this fashion or hire somebody else. We don't have the money in there to do it if we were to hire someone else.
I know that's why in years past, I've definitely been in favor of staying with three for that reason, because it's still less, even if we raise the, from what I'm hearing, as far as what assessors are making in other towns, we could go up pretty considerably on what these three assessors make and still be below what we would be paying one. I did talk to the supervisor of St. Armand, and I believe she said that their assessor only works 1 day a week, and that person makes, from what I remember, in between 20 and 30 a year. So at that point, then it's cheaper to do it with the one. But then other towns that have, I guess it's all different in all different areas, but yeah, if I'll talk to Davina again and get more information from her about what they do and how often, because I think that our towns are similar size, similar population. Routine contracts. Did everyone get? I put it in everyone's mailbox. The Essex County Emergency Medical Services.
Yep.
This is a annual thing. I think it's usually, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you. I just remembered where mine was. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think we pass this every year, basically. I don't even know if we've voted on this or done this by resolution, but
Yes, authorization to sign.
we've done this by resolution. So, but there wasn't a lot of discussion about it, so hopefully we can, I mean, if people want to discuss it, we can, but
I think it's
Oh.
5 years.
yeah. Well, maybe that's why.
I know,
Right.
that's what I'm thinking.
Well, may I have a motion authorizing me to sign this contract with the county for the,
Second.
Oh, no, this one's 1 year.
thank you, thanks. And this is for the fly car. This is the fly car agreement. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, NYMER, this is our insurance. I just want a resolution authorizing me to sign our insurance policy. May I have a motion on that?
Make it.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor?
It's unchanged.
Essentially. I don't remember any changes. I don't remember any changes.
Didn't go up.
Oh, I
Was
know,
it
but-
important? Yeah.
But I don't think that was really too shocking either, the amount. It was, yeah. It was pretty unremarkable. I'm sure there were some tiny changes, but. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Historical Society, Karen contacts me not infrequently asking me to sign documents. I'm not sure if I need board authorization to sign these documents. The most recent one, I was kind of ambushed before the last town board meeting and asked to sign these documents, which in retrospect, I kind of regret, but it was for their whiskey run. So they need me to sign all these documents for the whiskey run. The current one is, so they can get like a 1-day liquor license, and they need to get the 1-day liquor license to get the insurance. So this can't wait until the April meeting. It's got to be done today. So, and I know I have a very strong feeling that there will be more documents that they want me to sign. So I'd just like a resolution authorizing me to sign any documents necessary and routine for the annual whiskey run event. They have that motion.
I'll make that.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Discussion.
I could be misremembering it. Did we not approve the whiskey run for like a certain number of years at the last
We
time?
totally did.
Okay.
And so I don't know why, but I guess they need my
Because-
signature on these forms to submit them to the state. Right, just because the board did it last year is not enough. They need the town
Has to be
supervisors.
done every year.
Do we
This is
remember?
something that every supervisor does, every year.
If they're having something like this, every supervisor has done this for the whiskey run.
When we did the resolution, it was just for them to be able to use the field for
Okay,
like 3
thank you.
years. It wasn't for
3?
Everything else.
whatever it was. 2 or
Okay,
3
I don't know
years.
either. Okay.
There have been quite a few documents she's wanted me to sign for this event. For additional discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, in favor, okay.
No, I just got a question for you, Tim. Can we just double back on the assessor thing real quick? Because I was thinking about something.
Yes.
So,
Well,
We have-
that vote is done, right? That's, okay.
so we have 3 assessors in the budget, and we have that money set aside in there. In the past, and I don't know if this is legal, so maybe this is a question for you, Brian, that we can move forward on and maybe save us some of this headache right now. In the past, I'm talking, probably Don was on the board with me when we've had problems with judges before. When we did have 2 judges and it went down to 1 judge for a while, the 1 judge said, it's not fair for me to do this under the money I'm making because now I'm handling double the caseload. So we literally redirected funds from 1 judge to the other judge, but it wasn't a change in the budget. It was just a change because we redirected the funds from the 1 judge to the other judge without changing the budget. So my thought is there a way that we can take the empty assessor salary that's already in the budget and redirect that salary since we're already short without having a public hearing? Because at that point, we're not actually changing the line item of the assessors, and we're just redirecting the money that's already in there. But I don't know if that's legal. If it is legal, it may get us out of the whole thing of having to have a public hearing because that money's already in the budget, and we can just redirect the money that's already in the budget under the understanding that if we find a 3rd assessor, that money will then be pulled back away from the 2 that are already there. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, we'd go back to 3, they would go back to their normally allotted salary rather than being an increased salary, because now it would be 3 positions. Just like if we had a judge that was there and then we got the 2nd judge back, they would go back to their originally slated salary rather than an increased salary.
And we have done that before, but I
Right.
don't
So-
think we were supposed to because it's an elected official.
Right, so that's what my question is. If we did that, since the money's already there, is it legal? Or if it's not, I don't know.
I heard not, but I haven't found it in writing myself. That'd be a good thing for him to look up.
It might save us a lot of work if we could just redirect the funds rather than,
Something about it being elected, and when we did it for the judge, it wasn't quite.
Well, the judge is a separate, under the statute, is a separate animal on itself. You cannot change the compensation after the budget.
We increased it after the budget.
I mean, you can't decrease it,
Right.
but
You
This
can't-
is, the thing is, this is what is prohibited is the decreasing. So I would have to look further into this.
It's in the town law manual. That, increasing salaries is subject to permissive referendum. I'm not sure if it was specifically assessors or
I think it
elected.
said elected officials.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense really that it just said assessors, but, I think,
Elected officials, I think it's outrageous.
That's what Manning said.
that is what Manning said.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't want to drag him into this.
no.
Through-
Yeah, that's how this is you got free counsel from Manning, so.
I did. Yeah, I mean, the thing is we did this just a couple years ago. We increased Devin's salary without any kind of rigmarole or controversy. You know, nothing's a problem until it's a problem. If the members of the public, I mean, the board can do a lot, and boards have done a lot that are not by the book. But we should do things by the book, and we're trying to do things by the book. So.
I don't think if I were in that situation, that if I was given a raise and then I got an extra person, we're trying to incentivize people to fill the positions, not to.
And I'm not saying that we take it away from them. It can be discussed at budget time, but realistically, this would be a short-term fix since we're not going to get this into effect until at least July anyway. If possible. Again, I don't know if it is. I just wanted to mention that.
Because it's already been budgeted, the amount's already been budgeted
Correct.
on the line item.
So we're significantly under budget at this point because we've had 2 and we budgeted for 3. The other thing is the way the law is written, we could have flexibility in the way the law is written, allowing us to go up again if the board feels necessary, or we would write it in a more formal way. But if necessary, we could go up again and we could have that in the law.
Yeah, that's what, so back to my by percentage.
Forget the percentage.
Okay, all right.
Because
The goal would be by April to have a menu of options for the board.
great, thank you. Thanks.
And leave it blank so you can insert the amount of money that you.
And if possible, to give us flexibility to go up again, because, I mean, I agree with both, everything you both are saying is totally valid, If we can get someone for 12, great. I'm by no means positive we'll be able to, but, I mean, yeah, I can't say. I can't predict how this will go. Beach light posts, next discussion item. Randy, would you like to lead this? Randy's taken the lead on this, on dealing with this. Their incompleteness, right?
So I spoke with Nate or Betty, I don't know how you pronounce his name really, but on Tuesday, the 24th February. He was not involved with the project in the beginning, but his father was a partner with Paul Wass when that began. His father was away when I spoke with him, and he was going to ask him if he remembered who was responsible for the light poles along Bowman Lane. He said he would get back to me, and he did. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. This is when he did get back to me on my first phone call. So he never did actually get back to me to let me know if he had spoken with his father or not, and if he had any information on that. And so I sent him an email saying, I just following up on the conversation of the 24th February regarding the light poles along Bowman Lane. I was inquiring about who to contact about getting the lights replaced, as they are in need of replacing. It would be great if we could get this done before the busy summer season. And he never replied to that one. And the last time I contacted him was by phone on the 13th of March. And I just said, morning, Mr. Vett, Randy Winch from Wilmington, a member of the town board. I'm calling to inquire if you had any success with finding out about who is responsible for the replacements of the lights along Bowman Lane sidewalk. I look forward to hearing back from you, and I never heard back from him, and that was the last time I had any contact with him. And I just didn't want to keep leaving messages and not getting any responses. So that's where we're at, I guess. But when I talked to him and when he returned my first call, he sounded very pleasant and willing to work with us. I believed anyways, but it's kind of weird that he just quit communicating. So I don't really know what happened there.
Just, Darren, everyone is more than welcome, Darren, Don, et cetera, more than welcome to add on. I'm just to bring the rest of the board up to speed and the public, and correct me if I'm wrong, but so my understanding is when this project was approved, whenever 2013 or 2011, whenever that happened, this townhouse project, the First Columbia, the corporation that did this development, they actually own the road to the beach. And when this was approved, part of the approval was a bunch of money would be put in the escrow and this road would be deeded over to the town. Nothing has happened since other than the townhouses being completed. A bunch of very nice lights were installed, wooden lights, decorative, I guess. I don't know, they're nice. So they're these lights that the town has largely or solely installed. I don't think First Columbia had anything to do with the installation of the light posts. They're not on the sidewalk. They're definitely on First Columbia's property. And it's still First Columbia's property. And now they're even worse now after that windstorm. Mm-hmm. And they were not good beforehand. I mean, they're definitely something I hear about. And at this point, I'm definitely going to be hearing about it a lot more because they're even worse than they have been. So just if anyone wants to add anything to that,
so
go ahead.
I actually had it wrote down, and that's what I was going to say. So I was kind of going to pose a question to you. The way I remember it was once phase 2, which was the area that they've just completed like last year, right, was completed, and they extended the water line and everything down there, that section of road was going to be repaved.
Yep.
When that section of road was repaved, they were going to petition the town to take it over, and then they would get their escrow money back after the town took possession of that road as a town road and move forward with that. When that was done, at that point, depending on the size of the right-of-way, we may or may not own the light poles if it's in that right-of-way area. So, one, have we returned their money? So, or do we still have it? Because there was money put in escrow for that.
Yep.
2, did we ever make a resolution at any point taking over that road if it met the specs? If we returned the money to them, we must have made a resolution where we took over the road. If we took over the road, then we should have the ability to do whatever we want with the light poles. But we need to figure out whether, 1, we return the money, and 2, whether we made a resolution to actually take over the road. And I can't remember if that actually happened or didn't happen.
Yep.
Don, do you remember?
We did not return the money.
Okay, so that's something that we need to discuss with them. If we still have their money, like that's kind of a leverage point where, hey, we'd like to return this money back to you if you have met your ends of it, and now we can take over the road. Because they did blacktop it. I know that at one point after they dug down there. Whether it's to spec or not, I mean, that's something that we'd have to discuss with Louis about. But
that's old information, but that talks about the road and pavement. And
I mean, just for the board and the public, I think Nicole answered a lot of those questions. The only thing is, when the town does take over this road, those light poles will all but certainly be within the right of way. Because the right of way, I think the county standard for right of way is 25 feet from each side of the line in the center of the road. So There, I mean, there's going to be a double line, so I don't know
With the water.
how
and the
wide that
sidewalks
right
and
of way would be, but if it's that standard, they will be in the right of way.
I mean, based on what this says, I mean, a lot of the things weren't, if the project exceeds the 3-year completion date, they're required to resubmit to the planning board, and that never happened. If we still got their money, obviously, they didn't meet their conditions of approval. So, I mean, there's some things to look
That
into.
answers why they didn't get back to you.
Right.
Well, the other thing is they're not here, you know, they don't care. We're here and we care. You know, they're not, I don't think they're getting complaints about it, we're getting complaints about it.
What are the repercussions if we just fix it?
I think, I mean, that's a great question. Great question. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I think at this point, even if we have their money and they didn't do certain things, that money is there to do certain improvements. We use their money to do the improvements.
I think that's for my notice at that very minimum.
Yeah, that we would have to, if we're gonna go down that road, we would have
Just
to.
like,
I mean, because I mean, you can't hold on to money forever. I mean, it was in there for 3 years. I mean, if now we have it 16 years later and we're still holding their money, I mean.
Is it collecting interest or just setting?
Nicole, do you know roughly how much it is? Like 30,000?
It was more than that.
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay,
It was in place before I
Yep.
came 15 years ago.
I mean, that money is there as they call it an enhancement bond or whatever, and they have to put that money up front to make sure that everything is completed. And if it doesn't get completed, that money basically becomes town property to make sure that stuff does get completed.
Right.
That's the whole point of putting a bond up front. So at this point, I would think that that's almost town money.
well, we're definitely,
Fantastic.
we're definitely getting into the point where these are legal questions. So. I mean,
I got a note.
It would be really nice if we could get it done before summer, really. I don't know if you've seen them, but some of them are just hanging down off the posts, and some of the posts are broken, and
Who will be fixing them, Parks Department?
No, the town employees who had well, I'll answer your question, then I'll call on Bill. The town employees who installed these, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that none of those town employees work for the town anymore. So that's another, we would replace them probably with metal poles, some kind of metal pole that looked nice and looked somewhat ornate. But I don't think it makes sense to put in more posts that no town employees can install and maintain. Bill, please.
Just one brief thing. I
Yep.
talked to Eddie about it. We have used the fire hydrant that's at the end of that road. And I talked to Eddie about actually who owns that. He says that's not a town water line. They still own that. So if something gets damaged on that when we're using that, whether it be at a fire or training, that technically the town has not adopted that water line yet. For what that's worth. That's what he tells me anyway, because I've asked him if it's okay to use, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and use it. The town doesn't own it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's fine, then we're gonna go ahead and use it, and then if it gets broken during training or a fire, I'm not really sure. But it's not tagged out of service, and just for what that's worth, so that we have used it before, and we would continue to use it again, should there be the need to use it. But it's, according to Eddie, so unless I stand corrected, and it's been taken care of since the last time I talked to him, he's still under that they own it, that Wasco or whoever it is owns the water line, the town does not own it. So he's not maintaining it, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not getting flushed, it's not getting anything.
Okay, got it. Cliff, please.
Just to add to the light pole thing, those were actually built and installed by Sean Casey, paid for by First Columbia. When I worked for my father, we installed the electric, paid for by First Columbia, that runs down to the bathhouse. That's where that power comes from. The town's been paying for the electricity now since day one. So it wasn't a town thing at all. Just so.
No, that's good. I had heard a very different story about who
Yeah,
built
the
them.
town poles were done, the log ones were all done by the town guys. Those were,
That was what I had heard.
yeah,
So
those were different.
the person who told me was confused. Yep. So where are we going from here? You're looking into this? I mean,
But I guess the idea would be to just put them on notice that we're gonna apply the funds in escrow to repairing the
you can think about it.
Yeah. I don't like thinking out loud. I just take notes and.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Now, the poles you're talking about, are they the wooden ones the town guys made, or are
No.
these other poles?
No, they're wooden, but they're square 6x6s that were hand fused by Sean Casey.
They're like chipped on the edges and.
Is all log stuff.
Is this on the private road in there, or is this on
No, this is.
our right of way?
Beach road right on the side. It's very top, there's one log hole maybe, if I remember right, that Travis would have built with the town, and then from there down is the other one.
The top one is missing completely.
Well, that one was a log.
Right, yeah.
Don, can you deal with that and
Who is it?
make it normal?
You got video and you got.
All kinds of stuff going
Well,
on.
the video I can't get rid of.
You can?
The audio over there.
No, unless I kick him off completely.
No, if you want to.
Yep.
I can mute him. Mute that one. No. Okay, shouldn't hear any more noise, but I can't kick him out there without excusing him. And that would kick him
I thought it was the noise.
the picture.
I mean, neither is great, but
Dan, if you can hear us, can you just shut off your camera?
thanks, Dan. See ya.
My bad, y'all. I didn't know I was being a distraction.
Well, you're gonna be on YouTube for in perpetuity, so. I mean, I'm open to hearing anything else anyone else wants to say about this topic.
We can just send them a notice of what we intend to do, or you'll look into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it.
I will say that as Darren, I've read those documents as well. This is a problem, and it's a perennial problem because there's so much turnover on these boards, like the planning board and the zoning board. A lot of things were said and agreed to and are in writing from 15 years ago that were apparently never followed up on. And so it's an issue. All this stuff is from 15 years ago, and here we are, and you'll look at these documents and tell us what you think.
More to come.
If you own a right of way though, can't you improve it?
Yes, but we don't still. It was never turned over to the town.
No, the road was never turned over to the town. The town does have a right of way from, I think it's a Taylor deed
Oh, okay.
to that beach.
Good point.
I wanna double check that,
If I remember correctly.
because it would, all depends on what the right of way says.
Well, the town definitely has a right of way. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. But
Seems like it was in the Taylor, I want to say Taylor deed.
Okay.
Taylor name comes to mind with all that down there.
I mean, ultimately, we really just need to push them to either petition the town to take over the road
Yep.
and be done with all of this, that and the water line.
Yep.
And we basically accept their escrow money as payment and we'll do the improvements as we see fit, or they need to step up to the plate
Right.
and do this stuff. I mean,
Right.
we kind of just got to put it to them pretty blunt, I think.
yes, yep. I agree.
I agree.
Yep.
Whatever exactly what that says,
Well, I mean, it's been 15 years and this was supposed to be done within 3 years. So maybe you can start with that. And they look horrible. And you can take pictures and send them pictures, but they need to be dealt with. There's at least one tree in the beach that needs to be taken down. It's enormous, based on the storm, it cracked. Several trees cracked due to the storm recently. John can deal with some of them. One of them is giant and he doesn't think he should deal with, and I agree with him. This is just for discussion. He was hoping he could find someone to do it for under $1,000, so that would, you know, be in accord with our procurement policy and wouldn't have to have bids and the whole nine. I just wanted to kind of update everyone on that. When I had initially written this, I thought we were going to need bids for it, but I don't think we will.
So I met with John today, and
Yep.
I'm assuming you.
I haven't read it.
So
saw
can I
it.
just read this out loud,
Yep.
Tim, to
Yes,
update
please.
everybody?
Yep.
We had 6 or 7 large trees come down, damaging lamp and fence. The highway department helped and is still helping clean up. The majority of it's done. There's one large pine tree that is still standing that I propose we have taken down professionally. Just put on the ground, we can clean it up. It could take a bad bounce and hit bathrooms or pavilion. We spent 2 days with the crews for equipment. They used a chipper, backhoe, mini loader, and dump truck, small John Deere, and one of the highway trucks. The trees snapped more in the middle, but we will cut down the rest of the way. So there is some that they're still going to deal with, but there's one large tree that he said he was not comfortable with. He kind of talked to me and asked if we could, you know, either make a resolution or just come to the agreement that he get like Precision Tree again to come up and get an estimate. And those are the people that took down the trees on the park that were dangerous, and just kind of go from there so we can continue to move forward before, I mean, at this point, basically June.
It needs to be dealt with. Yep.
So I think we should
ASAP. So it doesn't fall on.
agree or make some type of resolution that John
Okay.
can get bids on that.
Well, that he can just deal with it because,
Or we set a dollar amount if it's under $1,500 just to deal with it or whatever.
okay, perfect. We're going to, I think we're going to make a motion and hopefully pass a resolution, Laura, to give John a $1,500 budget to deal with this tree.
Great.
Okay, so I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, this is spending money, so it has to be roll call.
Hannah,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
Can I just touch on that?
Yes.
I might have missed it, but
Yep.
I don't know if anybody was at the beach when those trees
please,
fell.
thank you.
I mean, I have pictures of it. I went down probably half an hour after it happened, and it looked like any tornado that you would have seen like on TV, like when they show the aftermath. It was ridiculous. There was so much debris, and they had it cleaned up like that, and it was 3 huge, like this big around trees with all of the offshoots off of them. And it was just amazing how quickly that they got that cleaned up. And it was both the parks and the highway department, and they cleaned up all over town. So they did an amazing job.
There was a lot of trees down. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I missed it. That's good. Anything else on that topic? Okay, the next resolution, I think should be in everyone's resolution booklet. Hopefully.
Yep. Nope.
No, shoot.
Probably saw it.
Last page.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
The next resolution on the agenda is the last resolution in the booklet. May I have a motion on this resolution?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. This is a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to advertise for, interview, and hire summer staff. There was discussion at the last meeting that the way that a very temporary part-time cleaner was hired was improper. So we're just trying to do things in the most proper way we can. And that is the source of this resolution. And with that, I'll open it to the rest of the board.
What's the title on that resolution, Tim?
A resolution authorizing,
Hold on that for a second. If you want. There you go. Behind you.
So, I'll open the floor to anyone.
I think getting the word out soon is pretty imperative, but definitely the more outreach. I think the schools, if we could reach out to the schools and, you know, looking for teenagers and things like that would be helpful, but yeah.
Good thought. And I do have some contact with North Country Community College because they're county funded and he will occasionally come to the Board of Supervisors meetings. So I have his contact information. I can definitely share all the information with him. Do we have, I think we should definitely set a range for the head lifeguard and the other lifeguards. And for the beach attendants, I didn't have a chance to get the documents that show what they've been paid in previous years. Possibly Nicole remembers some of that. Maybe someone on the board remembers some of it. I only have a very vague recollection of what those numbers were. But, you know, we can discuss it and go with what the board wants to go with.
Well, at least for head lifeguard, since, you know, Dan is on the thing watching, maybe he can tell us what he was at least getting paid so we can then base our information off of that if he doesn't mind.
I honestly can't remember without looking.
Was it around 23?
I honestly can't remember without looking.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
No problem.
I didn't see anything when I was looking because I had talked to Dan previously about returning, and I was just wondering about like what the salaries are for people around like in other areas, but I couldn't find anything. I checked, nothing came through, so I don't know if anybody else is advertising yet. So I think we have to be on par with the neighboring towns, so I don't know if we can set something.
We're just setting a range.
A range, okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Okay.
So based on what you were thinking, Tim, and I don't think you're too far off. Would anybody disagree with a range of like 22 to 27? That way we're kind of in the middle.
I think that sounds good. Yeah, for the head lifeguard?
Yes.
Yes, that sounds good.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat it?
Head lifeguard 22 to 27, just as a range for him to advertise for.
I do think it was 23 last year for head.
Hey, I looked it up as well. In case you wanted to know, I was getting 23 last summer as head lifeguard.
Yeah, so we're in that range.
So you want
That'll-
to leave this?
Yeah, that'll give us some flexibility if the other towns are, if we have a hard time finding someone, essentially. Dan is not planning on coming back last time. I shouldn't be talking about this at a public meeting, but so I'll just leave it there. The other lifeguards, what do we think that number should be, or those numbers should be?
20 to 25.
Perfect. Beach attendants. I think it was close to minimum wage last year. I think it was like 17. Like, again, I'm not totally sure. Nicole, do you remember by any chance, or? Yep. That's the,
And what is minimum wage now, Nicole?
I think it's 1650. I think January 1st was 1650.
1650 to 1850.
sounds good. Youth program staff. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm filling in the wrong blanks here.
Minimum wage is 16.
16.
The reason that I would question that is I know the directors that we've had in the youth center before, when we've had, teachers or whatever, they weren't anywhere near 16. They were like at 25.
Mhm.
So if we put 16, that is going to have to be very,
She was just saying that minimum wage is 16.
I was just
She was just.
confirming.
oh, I
Yeah.
thought she was talking
I was
about summer
confirming
because
that
Tim
was the
said
number.
tops.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, it'll have to be higher than 16 for
Right.
I think it should be higher, yeah.
for the youth counselors. I don't have a real strong sense of what it should be, other than somewhere around 23 probably.
So maybe keep it the same as the head lifeguard and
Perfect.
go from there.
Yeah.
Any other discussion about those numbers? Hours and days of beach operation. I want to say it's usually 10 to 6, at least, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong about that.
Do we have to fill that in now? Because that's going to be based on how much help we have. If we only get 2 lifeguards, then
Yep,
Change that to be determined.
yes. I suppose this should be a roll call vote if there's no further discussion.
Okay, Hannah? Yes. John?
yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Karen?
Is the agenda item 7. I have a motion on agenda item 7, which is this is a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to advertise and appoint a committee to address the sediment accumulation in the Oswego River. The end says that, I can advertise this, I can appoint people to this group. We'll decide whether it's a committee, a board, a group, an organization, we'll decide what it is. But the last clause of this resolution is that any decisions I make may be altered, amended, or returned by majority vote of the town board. So, but may I have a motion on this resolution?
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Will you read this while I get some water?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, well, I think he was going to talk about the what info that he had on the previous with the sedimentation discussion. But I mean, I think that personally, I think the caveat at the end is helpful for us to, give him some ability to move forward. But I think that that's good that we can, have some say in the end, but nothing is written in stone. And I think this is an important topic that you had brought this up at the town forum that we had, or it was a discussion about the dredging of the river. So I think that, this is where that comes from, right?
Well, I mean, it comes from,
More than that.
Exactly. Randy's been bringing it up for 2.5 years at least. My parents knew it was an issue 10 years ago, so.
There is a study in your office somewhere too, where they
Yes.
already did this.
Yes,
It won't count now, but we'll still have to do it again, but there is a previous study there.
I've started leafing through it.
Then the main concern is just aesthetics,
No usability for recreation.
aesthetics and recreation.
Yep.
Okay. What are the metrics you're thinking about for selecting people for this committee or whatever it turns into?
Really, this is similar to some of the other conversations we've had where I'm not even 100% confident that we'll be able to find people who want to do this.
Mhm.
So, first, the primary metric is wanting to be involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know I've heard from a lot of people that it's a concern. I would just like to note, I'd like to make sure there's someone with some sort of scientific or environmental background. I totally get the aesthetics and the recreation impacts But it is a pretty natural process for sediment to accumulate in a river, so I want to make sure that's taken into account when any decisions are made.
As you know better than anyone.
I don't know about that.
There's an unnatural object.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Any other thoughts?
I have no problem with you interviewing people, advertising for this. Before it was appointed, I think that maybe you should discuss with the board, but you can come up with a list of candidates and say, hey, I've talked to all of these people, because we, at this point, we don't even know if we want a 5-person board, a 7-person board, a 12-person board. So I think, I mean, myself, before you appointed somebody, I'd like to know who applied, how many people applied, and then maybe at that point, we would give you permission to move forward with it. So that's my feeling. Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with it,
Yeah,
but I'd like to see what happens first.
I have no objection to that whatsoever. But please,
How will you sign up for this committee, potential committee?
just by contacting me.
Sign me
If this resolution passes, okay. Okay, good. Well, we're off to a good start. So, because I was worried that, I mean, my worry, you know, a lot of people who have a lot of complaints, but when it comes time to actually show up to do things, sometimes there's not a lot of people in the room. So, but my fear was that there wouldn't be a participation. But hopefully, I foresaw that we'd be lucky to get 5 or 7 people, and we would just take everyone who wanted to do it. But if we get 7 people, or if we get 7 or 12 or 15 people who want to do it, I think that's awesome. So that's excellent. Town supervisor shouldn't say awesome. It's wonderful.
Wicked, wicked.
Yeah. So, well, the last, second to last, third to last, the manner in which this committee shall be appointed shall be decided by the town board at a subsequent meeting.
So basically, we're taking out, if it's the first, it is further resolved. We're basically just taking out that part.
Yes. Correct. And replacing it with a more formal way of saying TBD.
So the 4th one and the last one, basically, at this point.
Yeah, we can take the last one out.
Because again, if you're not really appointing yet, we would do that in the next resolution.
You know, maybe we'll see, again, we'll see how many people we get, and we'll revisit this topic. If we get 10 people, I'd like to have, you know, just have everyone get together and start from there, probably. But we'll revisit this all, and I'm glad we're moving forward on this. So just all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Should we go into executive session? How long do you think the executive session will? Do you have any sense of how long this will take?
15 minutes? 10, 15 minutes? Keep that.
I'm not sure what we should do, and I'm open to everyone else's ideas. The 10th agenda item, we're moving to April. So we're at agenda item 8 and 9, basically at this point. And I suspect that we should do a special meeting for the employee handbook, but we can talk about that at the end of this evening or some other time. But my sense is that that's going to be, if we're going to make progress on this, that's how we should probably going to have to do it. So should we go into executive session now or try to get through at least one of the last agenda items?
Yeah, I think we should try to get through the 2 resolutions. And then-
Okay. Okay. All right, so agenda item 8. May I have a motion on agenda item 8?
I will make that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. The title of this resolution is a resolution clarifying and explaining the town board's use of executive session to discuss matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person. It's a fairly long resolution. It's a solid page, so I don't want to read it. I'm almost positive it's on the website, and it's in paper form for anyone who would like to read it. And now I'll open the floor to discussion.
And why is this being proposed when we have, there's very clear laws already on the books through New York State, what constitutes an executive session, what we can discuss, what we can't discuss. So I'm not sure why we're backing this up with a resolution that already exists in town law.
Do you want to field that one?
Yeah, I asked for it to be on the books because we were getting feedback from people that we were not being transparent, that we were not doing things above board, that we should be discussing the reasons why that we have employed or moved things around, and that we, for appointments, all of the reasons that we have said from January that we don't feel comfortable discussing that. It's not the place to have it in front of an open forum. Like this is for executive session. And I think the tipping point was when we got into, there was a lot of discussion about the comprehensive plan steering committee, and it was not exactly a good look for a lot of different reasons. And I think that to clarify that we do have the right to discuss these things, and it should be behind an executive session so that we can address things and not have it be out for a million people to see if they choose to watch the video of this. And it's,
I'll just chime in when you're done too.
yeah, I think that sums up my request for it. That's
The only thing I would add is it's more fair. I mean, this person, for just to take this one example, for this appointment to the steering committee, this person wanted to be a volunteer. His qualifications and character, etc., should not be bandied about in front of 20 people who are here and 300 people who watch this, because 300 people, these do get 300 views, these YouTube videos. So I don't think that's fair to him. I certainly don't think it'd be fair to a town employee. I don't think it's fair to people who want to be on the planning board. So that is one of the biggest reasons why it's most appropriate to have these conversations in executive session, in my opinion.
Right, but I think one of the biggest complaints that people were having is when we go into executive session, we basically didn't know what we were going in to even discuss. It just says we were moving to go into executive session.
I think it said to make an appointment to discuss appointments.
Right.
It's personnel and legal, discuss personnel and legal advice. That's it.
Pretty much.
So people want the public wants to discuss that further. It's two reasons. Go into executive session to discuss personnel. And now that I'm here, when I'm here, it's going to discuss legal advice. So
Conference will now be recorded.
So basically what I was basically saying is I think some of it could have been cleared up for like that appointment or, for a secretary. If we would have literally just said, we're going in to discuss appointments to the planning board. We don't have to give names, but I think that they.
But that's not what the law. You don't even have to say that.
I understand, but she's saying she's getting pushback from it. So this resolution is not going to affect the pushback because people are basically just mad that we're going in there and making decisions that they're not aware about. And I know that's what executive session's for, but this is not going to help that because people are still going to say the same thing.
Well, this needs, go ahead.
I think the goal was just to try and explain the process a little bit more.
Right,
to the
because
people who were-
assuming that they should be entitled to all of the information that we are discussing behind an executive session does not make, the rumors and the fodder that's being thrown about is not helping the town. It's not helping our administration. People are, going down the path of you know, saying that this is not appropriate, but it is appropriate. And that's where this came from. And that is unfortunately why this is here, because we need to actually clarify things, because the, you know, discrepancy between what they would like us to do and what we were enforced to do are totally different.
And I think that part of the pushback that you're feeling, Laura, is, you know, basically, let's just take even the past 4 years that Tim's been on the board. We've probably had 6 executive sessions in 4 years, and now we've had 4 executive sessions in 4 months.
We used to do appointments and everything in front of everybody, and
So that's why people are feeling the way they're feeling.
they're
I'm trying
entitled
to
to it.
describe, I'm trying to tell you why people are feeling and why you're getting the pushback. If we choose to go forward with this, that's fine, and we have all legal rights.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, we've had 6 executive sessions in 4 years, and now we've had 4 in 4 months. People are wondering why.
Well, there's our answer. So we're not going to discuss these items in front of the public for obvious reasons, which has been proven through over the years. And most
Continue
recently,
to expect pushback.
then
That's all
they
I'm saying.
consider that known and consider them to look at our resolution to clarify our board's perspective.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Aye.
Yeah, did you say no?
yeah, that's already on the books.
Okay, the next agenda item, which will be the last agenda item prior to executive session. May I have a motion on agenda item 9?
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. The title of this is a resolution clarifying the town supervisor's authority to appoint a confidential secretary. And again, this is available on the web and a paper copy for the public who are here. So having said that, I'll open the floor to discussion. I suppose I'll say, big picture, this is very similar to the last one, where I think people maybe don't understand what the law is, and so they're expressing concern, but some of that concern is a misunderstanding or a lack of awareness. And so this is just trying to clarify for the public things that I suspect people aren't aware of. I'll open the floor. All in
I might as
favor?
well start.
Okay.
So again, I don't think that this was a misunderstanding. I think it was people's frustration because we had somebody in the position to do this job, and I understand that you're 100% in the right to appoint that, and that's in the town law manual. You're 100% in the right to appoint a confidential secretary, and you don't have to use who's here, and you're within your right. The point that people were frustrated about is we had somebody that's been doing the job. They enjoyed doing the job. They wanted to continue to doing the job, and there was no discussion with the rest of the board of why, or maybe some of the board, but not with everybody on the board, of why this person couldn't continue to do the job. And the other part was how this position was going to be funded, because there's nothing in the budget to fund this position. So those were the two frustrations, not the fact that you can't appoint somebody because you're 100% legally in the right. The frustrations came from, one, we don't have any money in the budget to fund it, and we didn't really make a resolution or figure out a way how to fund it because that wasn't discussed. Even after we appointed the person, to this day, I don't know if we know how we're going to fund the position and why the existing person is not being utilized. Those were the frustrations, and not so much that you couldn't do it.
But I think to the second point, that was just really discussed in depth with the previous resolution. As far as the first point, my understanding is that there will be a budget surplus from last year's budget. So hopefully we can use some of that. And we haven't done any budget amendments yet this year. We did it, I mean, it seemed like last year we did them almost every month. So at some point we'll have to consider doing a budget amendment. Probably for certainly more than one thing. Other thoughts? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
John?
No.
Ready, Bob?
Aye.
You guys have it. Sorry. Okay, may I have a motion to go into executive session, to discuss legal matter?
Make it.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Yes.
The public hearing or not?
No, so, the class.
Remember, you've got to call this back in session.
I know, I didn't even know.
Okay, everybody, you're still being recorded, just so you know.
I hate committees,
Understand.
but potentially, or being useful to. Yeah, absolutely. And the neighbors are. Traffic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a driver.
Well, and it occurred to me that KOA should be interested. I thought I couldn't find it when you were there. Well,
Oh, what's he
Or the
want?
ones that emailed you.
well, when they asked, it came to mind when there was a variance requested for things that they wanted to do on the shoreline. And that was granted, that they could have their pavilion or whatever closer to the river.
Yep.
And then I realized that shortly they would have no river at their campground. Like, and it occurred to me that only with the help of maybe some of the bigger corporations that might, anyway, it occurred to me that businesses that maybe might be interested in.
Including the new cat houses. I mean, if that's going to be, they're advertising the waterfront.
I'm just wondering if maybe, I'm not sure. Numbers.
Yeah.
But,
There's some of those strategies driving.
and I think that's maybe some offering that comprehensive plan
Yeah, yeah.
pieces as well. Yeah.
I spoke with Ashton, he's got experience, so he's no,
Oh, okay.
because that's where we need, obviously, hire people.
In direction, yeah, right. And reporting information through that we can use it properly.
Right.
The money that comes from it.
Uh-huh.
I really like
That's a big
hearing,
thing, someone could pay for it.
but it's to, yeah, I think it can be documented that it's a greater benefit
Mhm.
than
Mhm.
just a homeowner, along with it.
As long as it's environmentally friendly.
They use vegetable oil and grease.
Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
gonna be
get,
environmentally friendly. If we created the problem.
we're gonna interview the drought, interview the otters, the deer around town.
Yeah, they get right across, yeah.
Oh, that just was so reassuring, so thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did.
You didn't like being called out?
No.
I don't think you would.
You've got years from 0 people to the gymnasium built. How come? Maybe. Usually we have to say 3 or 5 people that help. We usually have more than
6. I was wondering the same thing.
Is that thing still on though?
Yes,
It has to be on now?
some say yes, some say no. Since we're only gonna be out of here 15 minutes, I'm gonna leave it.
We never shut it off.
Even during an intermission and
We
stuff?
can be in executive session for 2 hours and it stays on, so that way.
So I honestly don't know. It's not permanent record. The written one that I do up is,
It's for transparency.
yeah, I know.
Your last meeting, it was turned back on.
Huh?
With the last meeting, it did get turned back on.
Yes, it did. It was the one before that. Last one it did. If I'm not gonna turn it back on, I announce it. But they can read it in the minutes.
I remember it in the last one. You know, it was something like that.
Oh, yeah, for that, it wasn't. I know they'd already adjourned the meeting, I turned it
Yeah,
off.
no. It had not been really-
Well, then it's on there.
The one that I called in, it wasn't. As soon as they went into executive, it stopped. It stayed on hold.
Did you look to see if there was a second part?
You never turned it back on.
Maybe I didn't, maybe I forgot, but I meant to. That was the one where I stopped the recording because I didn't think it was recording properly.
I think it was that one.
Yeah, and then it turned out that was all okay and there's 2 parts to it.
Yeah. I'll have to look then.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to one of those meetings.
That's because you had to shut it off and turn it back on again.
Yeah,
That's why there's 2 parts. It's not
Right.
because the second part never came back on.
sorry about that, guys.
If you don't know about it. If you know, you can make the session.
Oh, yeah.
Last part, we did not-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have 4 people coming for this next part.
Some stuff. Saw an email from something about something.
Popcorn's not free yet?
No.
Where's the team at?
Wilmington, Jay.
Yeah, they do it.
On that executive session. Well, they're in executive session right now, so there's a little lag. That way, anything they do is gonna be on the tape, we don't have to turn the tape off, turn it back on. I won't forget, to push the button.
But sometimes spill path into the middle of the easy to talk about. Do it before you know everybody that's coming up.
I was gonna say that for the next executive session. That way, everybody gets to hear and see what goes on, is my thought. That doesn't mean they're gonna do it, but that's my thought.
And, facing the street, they're taking control of something.
Really.
My cousin's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Or 2 hours back, she was 5 years old.
Yeah, that's good. Happy day. Oh, yeah. I remember it too.
Yeah, more to say.
Anything?
Never started the public hearing. There is a discussion.
Did you sign it?
I did.
Yeah. Did everybody sign in for the public hearing? The sign-in sheets right there on the table?
Was it separate from the original?
No, you already signed in once.
How do you sign in?
Because they do. For history, I guess.
You didn't read the writing.
No, that's why I stopped, trying to type it all out. What I do, I don't put in the minutes that are online, but I put those signatures in the book.
200 years from now.
Yeah,
We'll be looking into it.
well, somebody might for historical things.
Soon enough, we'll all be in a historical society.
I would ask you to put out for everybody if you're interested, there's paperwork regarding the public hearing.
All my next time, my back's still a little revolving. Yeah, not much better.
Public hearing, I don't think we have to reply to them. We wanted to. I think we could. I pay somebody $40 if they give me some ibuprofen.
Hold on, I win.
Okay.
Let's make a deal.
Oh, there's a drug sale going on.
That's caffeine though. Hey, thank you. I'll catch you on the flip. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, take care.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's nice. And old. Oh, cool.
I have a motion to come out of executive session.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thus concludes part one of our, end of month board meeting. I guess I'll call to order the public hearing on local law 2. This public hearing is hereby called to order. Please stand for the pledge. We're doing the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, there's, Dawn, there's some formal language I need to read at the start of this, right?
Just that it's the local law.
There's not a big, but there was a,
Oh,
Yeah.
the announcement.
Yep.
I'll have to take it
I'll
off the
get it.
wall.
Okay.
Go back at traps, man.
This is the first of two public hearings we're having this evening. Public notice, Town of Wilmington, New York. Notice of public hearing on proposed local law 2 of 2026 of the Town of Wilmington. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 20 of the Municipal Home Rule Law of the State of New York and pursuant to a resolution adopted on March 10th, 2026 by the Town Council, Town Board of the Town of Wilmington, the Wilmington Town Board will hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. on March 25th, 2026 at the Community Center, 7 Community Center Circle, Wilmington. At the public hearing, the Town Board shall hear all interested parties regarding the adoption of proposed local law 2 of 2026, titled A Local Law to Promote Affordable Housing in the Town of Wilmington. Additional information, including copies of proposed local law 2, may be obtained from the town clerk's office. 7 Community Center Circle, P.O. Box 180, Wilmington, New York. I think that's all I have to read. I believe copies of the local law are on the table for anyone who would like one. Thank you all for coming. I'll say at the outset that these hearings are not a dialogue. They're for the public to be heard. And so we'll listen. And with that, would any other board members like to say anything before we start the hearing?
Can you just, before the public speaks, can you just give them a brief overview of the law? That way it's on record and everybody knows what we are talking about.
Yes. Yep. So when the zoning code was redone in 2013, there was manufactured homes were held to a different standard than other types of dwellings, traditional stick-built homes. Manufactured homes have to be on lots 3 acres or greater, whereas other types of homes in the moderate intensity zoning district in the town, and then Hamlet 1, which is 1 acre, the moderate intensity in Hamlet 1 are 1 acre. Hamlet 2 is a ½ acre. That's the minimum lot size. Other types of dwellings can be put on those lots that adhere to the minimum lot sizes, but manufactured homes may not, according to our zoning code. Also, all manufactured homes, I believe, require site plan review, whereas that's not the case for other types of dwellings. So, most people know, I'm sure, that there's a housing shortage in the region, and this is one way that we are. I guess another factor is that these are not trailers. These dwellings that were built in the past 10, 15, 5 years, these are not what we would think of as trailers. They're more like the pictures that the Essex County Land Bank emailed me today, copies of which are in the back of the room. And we are willing to limit these manufactured homes to a certain age limit, manufactured within the past 5 years or 10 years. But where this came from was manufactured homes are held to a different standard in our code. And this is one way that we are seeking to address what has been frequently called a housing crisis in the region. I'm welcome to hearing other people's thoughts.
The only thing I'm going to add to that, Tim, is based on the language that we have in there saying manufactured home, that does not differentiate between trailer or a cross mod or a double wide. A manufactured home can be any of those things. So when you said it's not talking about trailers, it very well could.
Not according to our code. In our code, trailer is defined by the age. If it's older than a certain year, it's considered a mobile home in our code. If it's made after a certain year, I believe that year is
78 or something like that.
Yes, that's what I think too. Something like that. After that, it's considered a manufactured home. But prior to that, it's considered a mobile home. That's how our code defines it.
So, but that doesn't, so a trailer built in 1998 is not a manufactured?
Not under our code. No, it's not a mobile home.
Not a
So
mobile.
we're not talking about mobile homes. We're talking about manufactured homes. So
We are.
a 1998 trailer would still be considered a manufactured home. It's still a trailer.
I'm not well versed. Possibly you're more well versed on.
The terminology has changed over the years. The terminology for trailer is not what manufactured homes are referred to anymore. And it's part of our code. Mobile home is from, I think, 1978 and previous, and after that is considered a manufactured home. It's not technically part of our code. Trailer only exists in our code when it's referring to a travel trailer, which is an RV. So that is the only part where it is considered, it is part of our code as far as trailer is referred to. So.
Right, but even under your own admission, a 1998 trailer,
Manufactured home, yes.
is still a manufactured home. So
yeah.
if people see
A manufactured home.
that is 14 foot wide, 80 foot long, which most people refer to as a mobile home,
Manufactured home.
it's just a name.
Right.
It's not.
So I don't know why you're arguing with it.
Because you're saying that that's not included at 100%.
I did not say that at all.
So I will just say
I'm saying
that
it's not referred to in our code.
Regardless of whether it's referred to or not, I want to make everybody aware in the room that whether you call it a mobile home or a manufactured home, it includes all of those things.
Yeah. I know trailer is your go-to word for the referral of these things, so, or them things, as you call them.
You can call it whatever you want.
You can.
It incorporates it to all of those things.
I think that the purpose of the public hearing is not for the public to observe the board arguing. They get enough of that at the other meetings.
It was to make the board or the public aware.
Yep. But, Darren, and I'm going to commit this sin I just criticized both of you for. We are willing to, as I said, limit it by age. And what that number is or how we do that is, I'm flexible on that. But I don't think that we're talking about trailers from 1998. That's not the concept but we'll see what the public has to say, and then we will base our next steps on what the public says. Unless any other board members have anything to say. Jerry, do you have anything? You can go. Okay.
Let the public say their piece.
Okay. Please raise your hands. I'll call on you, and we'll listen. Cliff, please.
So I don't think there's a lot of difference between a single wide trailer from 1998 and a single wide trailer you buy today. It's gonna look identical. Do we want a single wide trailer on the main corridor? I have no strong feeling either way. But I think people have to be, I don't think a lot of people understand. There's a big difference between a manufactured home, modular, double wide, than there is a single wide trailer. That's all I have for now.
See,
There's also a difference between a manufactured home and HUD certified.
okay.
HUD certified trailers, as you want to say, that look like modular homes with sheetrock, and there is a difference.
Thank you.
Do I get one shot to chime off, or can I come back and forth?
Depends how long your speech is.
How long do you have?
Not that long, buddy. Not that long.
I want to, my name is
Evan, please go ahead.
Yep, my name is Evan. I live on Springfield Road. I own the building next to the Candyman, and I own the Hungry Child Fly Shop. All three of those are on the main corridor, surrounded by potentially dividable lots. And, leading up to this conversation, all of this zoning code, I have been so excited about this whole routine, speaking with Tim and everyone about tightening the zoning codes, preventing more patchwork development in town, and getting some uniformity in the direction the town is moving toward. We currently have, over the past decade, these little patchwork developments in town that there's no uniformity. And we've all been complaining about how they look, how the tourists perceive them, how the neighbors perceive them based on affecting their property value. I have a lot of good friends that butt up against the storage units. And I live across the street from what I used to jokingly call the trailer park, but I guess now we're actually entertaining that conversation. So I thought we were going to be entering this year tightening the zoning code and preventing uncontrolled development. And the way that the current laws are, if we reduce the lot size as well as the square footage of each home, already in the conversation now, we have opened the door, call it whatever you want based on the year or whatever. We have opened the door to all of the lots in Wilmington to be able to be put a trailer on the lot in the center of town with no screening. I don't care if it's a mobile home or a trailer or what. We are able to put a trailer on the main road corridor on all 9 miles of our main roads through the center of town with no screening requirement. I saw yesterday on the internet, across the street from the shop on the Four Corners in Wilmington, we've got hotels, restaurants, the Candyman. It's the only commerce center in town. And there was a mock-up of a mobile home on the fourth corner, the only undeveloped corner, which is a substandard lot. It's at 0.8 acres, whatever. There is a discrepancy of vision between what the board is trying to do and the way I feel and a lot of the town feels about what's happening. I just don't see how we can sit here and justify that regardless of housing crisis or home affordability, how we can say that that vision of a mobile home on that corner is acceptable. We have 4 corners in town. We have one 4-corner lot in town, and we are opening the door to that 1 acre lot to be a mobile home with no screening. So I followed up with my own little AI image of it, of a little 300 square foot axle trailer parked on it with no trees, you know? And the response was, it looks cute. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think with all of this said, we're so far sides of the aisle. It's my opinion that any loosening of the zoning code should wait until after the comprehensive plan is done. We cannot afford to open up further development and let someone screw up a lot on the main corridor, because we've admitted here, we have no control over what goes on the lot. We have no regulations on screening the lot. Someone could put whatever they wanted on that thing. The other thing, who's controlling that lot to make sure it falls into the hands of a family who needs homes? I fall right into the percentage of the demographic in the housing study of a family making X% of the area median income. They're talking about me when they say about who's looking for a house. I got my house in 2014. So I'm lucky. My house has tripled in price. A lot of us are in that same boat. Our lives are being made because of this valuation of our properties in town. So when I see if I see a destination town that I don't live in, I can't access the property. I ski and I bike there all the time. If I see a realtor put a 1 acre lot up with a tiny home already on it, 150 grand, I'm going to buy that to go play in. I'm not going to buy it to raise my family in Wilmington. Someone just gave me a free little vacation plot, you know, like, and we have, in this way, we have no option to limit who's buying these plots. So the intention is great. It's a noble endeavor, one we all agree with. I struggle to find a way how the benefits of this deregulation would outweigh the potential cost of a potential patchwork and ugly situation. You could have a home, 2 acres, the 3rd acre, they could parcel it and just put a mobile home up. They wouldn't have to buy it or anything. They could just parcel it off, put a mobile home and let their relative live there, or their son. Could that not also fall into these new regs?
Thank you.
So I have an email I want to read from Jerry too, who couldn't be here, but he wanted to chime in.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, not now. I can do it later. I can do it now.
I was thinking about putting a time limit on comments of 5 minutes. I don't know if the rest of the board thinks we should do that or whether we should make the length unlimited. Do you have any thoughts?
I think there's a lot of people here, and technically Jerry's a different person. It's not Evan, so he's just reading it on his behalf.
Okay, Julia, please.
Well, it's really disheartening, the narrative of that. You're making it sound like someone that lives in a modular or mobile or however you want to call it is less than, or deterring or detracting from the value of someone else that lives in this town. And I want to know in this room who either has lived in a mobile home, who knows someone that has a mobile home, who's friends with someone that lives in a modular home, or has ever struggled with money to the point where if they did not have what they have now, would have been able to afford what is in the area right now available. Raise your hand. Great. So every single one of you can understand the struggle that our children are going to have down the line with what is going on with the housing market in this area. And to say that someone's property, what they do with it is more valuable as a McMansion or a stick built or a, you know, it is really troublesome that this is the narrative that like, I'm a Winky Town girl. I grew up here. How many of you know that term? Like, we were always looked down on. We were always less than like Placid. I understand that you want to try and make this a better place, but you're losing the entire heart of this area by looking down on people that want to live here for the right reasons. That is gross.
That's your opinion as well.
It is my opinion.
Tim, that's
Knock
a
it
little
off.
aggressive.
Nice.
Knock it off.
A little aggressive there.
Okay. We're not doing that. Come on. We're not doing
It
that.
is my opinion, and I'm saying
We all don't agree with it either.
you don't have to, but I'm saying that is what is worrisome to me for our kids' future, is that they won't be able to live here, because if you're putting restrictions on something that is affordable and attainable for them, then they are the ones that are going to struggle. We're going to struggle because our kids won't be able to live here. We're going to struggle because we won't see our grandkids. That's sad.
Thank you, Julia. Yes, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand. Thank you. Pat, please.
On the point of being on the corridor, the main corridor, the price of the lot will, you know, that corner lot on 4 corners is going to go for a lot more than somebody who can do afford a modular home or a small home will be able to pay. But
If we're not gonna, well, I can.
go ahead.
I don't think we should go down this road of the dialogue.
Okay.
You know,
Well, that's
if we
fine.
want to do that another time, we can do that another time. But I've seen it go so poorly in this room that I am really trying to not have that happen.
Well, that's my point.
Okay, thank you. And if you would like to speak again, just raise your hand. Thank you. Cliff, please.
So I'm gonna try to word this right. Me, and I don't think anybody else in the room, including Evan, is talking down on how anybody lives. My personal opinion, I own a trailer. You guys know that. My kid lives in one. Everybody's got to start somewhere. It's 1968 single wide, probably the worst of the worst. I have no problem. I just think there's a place for that. And that's that. I mean, I'm not talking down on anybody. I don't look down on anybody.
I do, because this is an important theme on it, that when these things come through, especially with the comprehensive plan of where and how we want our town to move forward, these conversations are gonna be, need to be, you know, I can't be called a snob every time I have an opinion on the housing, because it literally has nothing to do with, like Cliff's point, of looking down or a judgment on anybody. The reality is, this is a tourist town and a tourist corridor. Every study out there, all experience of any other mountain town will show you don't want to put certain types of properties, and it doesn't matter if it's mobile home, stick built. We just had an $25 million KOA put in, and it looks like shit. The town needs to step up and get in charge of the aesthetic of these things, how they look, how they're built. I don't care if it's a mobile home or a trailer. I don't care if it's a McMansion, whatever it is. I don't want to see it from the road, period. So why isn't there a screening requirement? These are the things I think that are more important than what's being built is how are they being built? What do they look like? Maybe they should be required to have freaking grass. You know, I mean, little things on the main corridor go a long way. It doesn't matter what it's built of. No one's talking about that at all. We want, as a business owner, we want that corridor to have like an emotional trigger of people visiting, like, I want to come back. Look at this awesome little quaint town. That can happen with any kind of home, but our zoning code doesn't give us the power to enforce that on anybody, regardless of home. That's what I think needs to be more important than home type, is the standard we hold our development to. And there's nothing in there that sets any standard. That's worrisome.
Well, I won't address it, but I could clarify a little what you're saying, but I'm not going to. Yeah, please.
Doesn't the other zoning ordinance that you want to add address buffering and sightline?
I suppose we'll have a little conversation among the board after the public hearing and maybe try to answer some of these questions.
The answer is not for residential.
The answer is in our current code. Well, okay.
I've lived in a trailer for 40 years. And there's a lot of places that look a hell of a lot worse than my trailer. I don't think it's what you live in. I think it's the surroundings around you that make a house a home, no matter what it is. If your yard's full of junk and garbage and stuff like that, no matter what, if you got a $50 million house, it still looks like shit, in my opinion. And that's my opinion. Thank you.
Public comment from the board. Oh, please.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have anything, or the town doesn't have any zoning requirements about having shit in your yard, so you can have it piled all up, and we can't, and town legally can't do anything about it, is that correct? As long as it's not a health department violation.
I don't know the answer to that question. I would have to look into it and get back to you. Well, maybe Pat does.
I've been reading the waterfront revitalization, and there is a stipulation in there that junk is not to be left around. Unused items are not to be left around.
All the stuff has to be licensed, you know, your tractors, all that shit.
This is gonna look great in the paper. Brutal.
Wilmington's favorite word, shit.
No, that's not it.
Just to add on that quickly, so
Please.
who determines the stuff that is in violation? I mean, do we have somebody that follows the letter of the law that drives around and looks in people's yards to find out what is unusable stuff and determines that's not appropriate according to the code? There's just a pattern.
I'll be glad to
here.
answer that question for you and personally. Adam, please.
As I'm Adam Height, I live in Hazelton, across from the firehouse. But anyway, as somebody that's potentially going to be developing a part of Wilmington, you know, it's concerning to me. I think we do need more regulation, right? I think there needs to, that the property I just purchased needs to be held to a higher standard when we decide to redo it and do things with it. So I'm all for it because it's on the corridor. It should be an attractive property. It should be a place where business wants to work at. That's my feeling on the corridor. When it comes to manufactured homes, I think you've got to be really careful with that language. And I'm more concerned not about the home itself, but as other people have stated, the stuff around it. You know, my neighbor, I know they're in a hard place. I know her husband passed away. The house is boarded up. It looks like it's an abandoned home and she's still living in it. And it breaks my heart that that's what she has to do. But, you know, as a community, if we're talking about community, we need to help those people. And if that means we do, you know, community days where we go help somebody fix up their yard or things like that, I'm all for it. But as somebody that's going to be developing in Wilmington, I am concerned about the future and what we're going to be doing. I also own a lot up in Outlook. It's listed if anybody's looking for one. I recently sold one to some family members in the room, but the property above that is listed as medium density, I think is how it was worded when we bought it. And that was concerning to me, and also the person that owns it is concerning to me because his daughter-in-law loves to put up these little communities. I don't necessarily agree with it all the time. I think they've worked out in their favor, but when I drive through Keene and see what's there, I think that those were, again, there needs to be screening in front of them. They're on the main corridor. You're looking at the back of these homes, there's no vegetation, there's nothing. So there needs to be some sort of regulation when it comes to appearance of properties and things like that. Coming from Long Island, we had a code enforcement officer. He knocked on my door one day because my work truck was in my driveway. That is against the code in a residential neighborhood on Long Island. I don't necessarily want to see that because people have a right to work, but, I think appearance has a lot to do with it.
Thank you. Well said. Julia, please.
I just have a question. Is it possible, if everyone's so concerned about the aesthetics of it looking like a trailer, I think could not, a single wide is so triggering, if it could be a double wide and bigger, or a certain dimension that would be acceptable, or on a foundation so it looks like a house, even though it is a house. These are all the things that as someone who has a double wide on a full foundation, and that is why I think I am so passionate about it, is because I couldn't have my family in the area if I didn't have the house. It was the only way I could afford where I bought. And my sister has a double wide on a full foundation, and who's to say that her house is less than someone else's? And that's where I really am concerned that if we are eliminating good people from having houses because they don't fit your aesthetic, what sort of image are we putting out there?
I think, take the personalness out of it. I get where you're coming from 100%. And, I do like that it's on a foundation. I think that should be, it can't be on blocks or it can't be on a concrete pad. I think those, I am 100%, and that's what I said to my wife the other night. I said, if it's on a permanent foundation, I'm cool with it. Because it's just gonna look more permanent, is my thing. If you, all of a sudden, again, if you have a bunch of houses on blocks and wheels, and like I just was down in, estimating a job down in Willsboro. You got the peninsula there, and it's one of the most beautiful, all the lake houses, all those things, and in the middle of it, it's a trailer community. But you drive into that community and there's an appearance, right? But some of those,
kids
I didn't see any kids because it's 100% vacations.
in that,
And that,
in
90% of that is it's summer vacation. So that's what you gotta watch out for. Again, we've regulated Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I originally bought those 2 lots to put 2 homes on and Airbnb them. I backed away from that plan because my plan was to build 2 homes, Airbnb them, so it's affordable for me to own them, and then my kids can have them when they graduate college. That was my goal, so that I'm setting my kids up. That plan's gone because I was like, I'm not gonna fight that battle. So, be careful where your regulations lead you, but we need them. I'm 100% for responsible growth.
Please.
I got some comments that I want to share, but before I start, I want to say that there's a thread through a lot of the comments that are being made tonight. And one of those threads begins with Darren and his comment about what does this really mean and how do you define this? And that I want to see in my comments, that's a glaring deficiency that I see in the language that you've got in this proposed amendment right now, is there are no definitions. There's a lot of information, detail that is just not there. 2 pages does not address this very important issue. So with saying that, I'd like to just read a couple things rather than just ad-lib it. The shortage of affordable housing is a problem many communities face in New York State. Wilmington is not unique in that respect. What is unique about Wilmington, however, is its special character, its history, its image, and natural resources. I understand the desire to address the affordable housing issue in Wilmington. This issue requires careful and serious thought and a well-developed detailed plan complete with standards for implementation. That will not jeopardize or adversely affect the qualities and attributes that make Wilmington special. I have briefly reviewed the proposed zoning changes and the existing zoning code provisions. With all due respect, and I hope you don't take offense to this, the proposed amendment is not ready for prime time. I'm just being blunt.
I'm not offended.
It's, as currently drafted, it's short-sighted and seriously lacking in all of the necessary standards and details. I'm serious about this. I went through grad school. I have advanced degrees in land use planning, so I know what I'm talking about. Let me finish, please. In its current form and language, it would, among other things, make it possible to place very small, 300 feet or less, square feet less, manufactured or mobile homes in core areas of the town without proper standards and designated districts and locations, which I think you were talking about, or somebody was, for these units. It's likely to dramatically and adversely affect the image, character, and qualities that make Wilmington special. I urge the board to step back and take a little bit more time to more carefully research and think through how this issue should be addressed. This includes examining what other communities have and are doing. And I heard someone reference the units that have been built down in King, and I agree that those should be somehow screened. And taking the necessary time to develop standards and details for proposed amendments that will not adversely affect the town's character, image, property values, and resources. I just urge you to take the time. This seems like it's been brought forward very quickly, and it's not well thought out. It needs detail and standards and definitions and all sorts of other things that go with this kind of thing.
Thank you.
Can I say one thing? On that, just to address the language.
Can we wait until after the public hearing and then the board can talk amongst themselves? I don't want to shut you down, but I don't want the free for all either. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
You can't win
Can I
sometimes.
just have, what's your name?
Ed Hood. Ed Hood.
Thank you.
Pat, please.
I thought that was very nice, but we're losing people at an alarming rate. Just off the top of my head, I know 5 families that had to leave because there's no place for them to live.
Thank you. Thanks. Cliff.
To follow up with that, I think a little bit, put it into a little more perspective, the way this is written, the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong. So everybody is familiar with Adams new property sign off. So take that piece of property, 3.24 acres. With this law, you could potentially put 6 single wide trailers on that piece of property. Am I right or am I wrong? You're right.
Doesn't happen, right?
And you'd only be able to put them there if the septic tanks and all that stuff worked with what the laws read.
Isn't that considered a subdivision? Don't they have other,
Not the way this is proposed. It wouldn't be a subdivision, it'd be independent.
but if you're subdividing an existing property, that's a subdivision. I mean, isn't that the definition? of
100%.
subdivision?
It is a subdivision.
I'm asking, I don't know, I'm asking.
Yes,
it is.
It would be.
But he could put 6 trailers there and rent it out individually, not subdivide it. His property.
No, you can't, because they're saying that the lot size for a single dwelling has to be a certain.
Not vacant. He's got 3 acres.
But it's all one lot, Cliff. It's not divided into lots
It's not
yet.
subdivided.
It would have to be divided into lots.
Yes, it does, because that's single dwelling on one property.
I think there's something in the code that says single dwelling. There is
Yes,
something in the
single
code that
family
says you can
dwelling.
have a mother-in-law
An accessory
house,
Right.
accessory mother-in-law house.
You can't without having a subdivision.
One, yeah.
It is mixed use property too, so I don't know how that changes any
Yeah,
classification.
I'm not sure either.
I was just trying to put it in perspective.
Yeah, wait.
Evan, please.
What we keep referring to is some best case scenario of someone who finds a small lot and puts some nice foundation down and a beautiful double wide on it. we need to approach this by looking at the worst case scenario. How is this law going to be taken advantage of, and by whom? And what control do we have over that situation? And if you apply that thought process to this, it is glaringly not ready, or doesn't fit the model of our town to begin with, if you ask me. But there are worst case scenarios that are being ignored here that could happen equally as much as the best case. That manufactured home on the front of your desk there is the best case scenario, and you cannot go into this process with that as what's going to be reality.
But isn't the public hearing to get that input so they can adjust the law? If this isn't a given thing, right?
No one's saying it's a given
I
thing,
mean,
but
this is what our feedback is for.
That's correct.
And the law doesn't stand alone. It stands with the rest of the code. It's not just that one law. That law's there, but they have to look at everything else that's in there too.
what about the tiny home size? I didn't see that brought up, the 500 to 300, down to 300, is that?
It's 300.
Is that also in this?
It's the smallest.
I haven't heard anyone mention that.
That's in the code already. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in this law because it's already there.
Down to 300?
Yeah, it's 300.
No, it's 600 right now.
Yeah, but it was going to be brought
I
down.
thought I just read something that it was 3.
Ask Don about it.
We'll address that after the public hearing, I suppose.
Well, I think
Clarify. Well, I'll clarify.
Okay, we were changing it to 3.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's currently what?
My mistakes.
It's currently 5. This room's bigger than 500 square feet, just for reference.
Later on, I'll get my tape measure. Good, please.
I'd like to hear Jerry's email that everyone's gonna read.
Okay, fine. Carol, did you have anything to say?
I just said I think those tiny homes are a great idea.
Thank you. Thanks.
This is from Jerry. Can't make the meeting tonight. I'm a non-voting planning board member and totally opposed to the tiny home proposal. 30 years ago, we disallowed mobile homes because everyone was taking advantage of it. Mother-in-laws moving in next doors, neighbors totally unhappy, etc. There are numerous substandard lots in the area. You may run the risk of realtors buying them and putting in small tiny homes and selling them quickly. Additionally, I don't know of anyone who'd be happy to have a 15 by 20 foot home move in next door. That is smaller than the size of the room you're in right now. Additionally, be sure a manufactured home is exactly that and not a mobile home. Sure wish I could be there tonight.
Well taken. Thank you. Under the advice of council, the last time when we amended the zoning code, we were advised to keep the public hearing open until the next regular monthly meeting. Therefore, I believe that's what we should do now, but I'm willing to. Oh, Cliff, please.
One last thing.
Okay.
Are the letters that were sent in, good or bad, available for the public to read?
By definition.
Sorry?
By definition.
Where are those
Yeah.
accessible?
The town clerk.
Yeah, I can get you a copy. Actually, I've got them here on my desk if you just want to read them.
I would love to.
2 were sent in, or more than 2?
There's 2 that we got. One is for, one's against.
I know we have one that asked for it to be read at the public hearing, so I don't know if we should do that.
If you would like
Yeah,
to, or if someone in the audience would like to, I'm willing to do.
I'm not gonna read it. You can go ahead and read it.
This letter is from Michelle Preston. It says, below is a letter of concern I'd like to read and present it at the public hearing. Regarding the zoning changes for Lot 2, I ask each board member to read it with an open mind and reach out for me for further discussion. Thank you. To the Wilmington Town Board, I support addressing the housing shortage. However, reducing lot sizes to a half acre for manufactured housing is not a targeted or effective solution for Wilmington. This is a permanent zoning change with long-term implications. At this point, I do not believe there's been enough research data presented to support it. Reducing lot size alone does not ensure affordability or housing for local residents. Manufactured homes today are not inherently low cost, and there are no provisions within this proposal that guarantee these homes will meet our workforce. Without that, we are making a lasting change without a clear and measurable outcome. From a practical standpoint, even when municipal water, septic systems remain a crucial factor, limiting lot sizes to a half acre reduces the space available for proper long-term function and raises concerns about future impacts to both individual properties and neighboring lots. In addition, smaller parcels reduce natural screening between properties, which directly affects privacy, aesthetics, and overall character of our community. This proposal also represents a broader shift in how development could occur in Wilmington. Our town has always been defined by its low density Adirondack setting. Moving forward towards half-acre lots reduces a level of density that is inconsistent with that pattern. More importantly, zoning changes do not apply to just one project. They open the door to all future development under those standards. That is a significant step that should not be taken lightly. We've already seen how strong residents feel about development decisions, particularly with the response to the KOA project. That level of concern reflects how much people value thoughtful growth and character of this town. It is important to choose those concerns. It is important that those concerns are recognized in decisions like this, and are also potential impacts to our property values. Wilmington's market is built on space, privacy, and unique character of the Adirondacks. Increasing density in this way introduces uncertainty and could affect long-term value and strength of our tax base. At minimum, there should be a clearer data supporting this proposal. How many units is expected to create at what price point for whom? Without that information, it is difficult to justify a change of this scale. I would strongly encourage the board to take a step back, conduct further analysis, and explore targeted solutions before moving forward. This is a decision that could reshape Wilmington for years to come, and it deserves careful, well-supported consideration. Respectfully, Michelle Preston.
It seems to me that a lot of people are ignoring the fact that this went through the planning board already. And that one of the things it's just discussing or extending is the current code as it is now that enables now, we have a stipulation in the zoning code that says only trailer homes, meaning 3-acre plots. And this is pretty much what we are saying no longer has to be the case, as I understand it. So in fact, there's no real change to how many acres somebody needs to build a home in the hamlet. Those things have been the same. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Pat, please.
Another point addressing her point about density, to become, with our comprehensive plan, one of the major things we need to do is become a smart growth community. And that means we have to make it more dense within the hamlet instead of spreading out.
Right, is that the biggest concern?
Yeah.
Please.
I'd like to point out that there's a lot of people getting older. Older people don't need the big houses they're living in. And you say that the thing is about the size of this room. Just sitting here, I've already mapped out how you could have a big house for 2 people in this space, and they would be comfortable. You know, you've gotta think about everybody, not just the stage of life you're in right now.
I'm just referring to the 2 demographics in the housing study that they put out. They specifically have 2 groups of people that they are the higher demand people who need the homes, etc.
Right, but there would be more homes freed up if we took some of the subpar lots and turned them into, not especially tiny homes, because tiny homes are almost too small, but something the size of this. You could turn this into a house really easy for a couple,
Right, and that's,
especially an older
it's
couple.
almost like a starter home where
Or
someone
a younger
gets
couple.
into the small house, they come up in life, then someone else moves into that and is able to establish and get their life started. And it's like a trickle down effect where we don't have an apartment complex in Wilmington. We don't have.
Well, we have the townhouses.
Guys, come on.
Oh, no, but like an apartment, sorry, there's not.
She didn't raise her hand either. Adam, go ahead.
I forgot my point listening. So
That's my bad.
I'll think about it. Come back to me.
Steve,
Have an appraiser come into your house, to say Tim here has a $500,000 house. They say it's worth that with the appraiser. Trailer moves in next door, appraiser comes back and says, it's only worth 400,000 now. That was gonna lower his taxes.
I think, well, again, I'm not supposed to, we're not having a dialogue now,
So
so,
I'm just
okay.
pointing that
Okay.
his property got devalued according to an appraiser, and that's approved back.
Thank you. Adam,
You brought it back to my mind, thank you. But, you know, it is about the value of homes, and we could put in 10,000 tiny homes in Wilmington. And unless those are 100% mandated on price of sale and things like that, and you have to fit within a certain qualified lottery demographic, whatever, income base, however you want to put it, if you don't do that, it's just gonna be a free-for-all anyway. People are gonna be buying them for ski homes and things like that. And so if you want to go after growing your community with a younger, honestly, one of my targets at Steinhoff is to have some apartments there.
Great.
And to target young entrepreneurial type people that want a place to start and hopefully have a business that they can run out of there too. But, you know, with that, you have to make sure that's all well written, and that's the thing. And I'm not against tiny homes. I think they're cute. I like them. You know, I've thought about building a couple and put my kids in one and my wife and I in the other. It would be perfect in my opinion. But, you know, again, there needs to be a lot of regulation in there saying that it has to be, you know, screened. It has to be so far from your neighbor's structure. And again, our biggest hiccup in this hamlet that we love living in is septic. You know, what are you gonna do? We live on one of the most pristine rivers in the North Country. And, you know, on Long Island, where I moved from, the North Shore of Long Island is all septic tanks. The sound is being poisoned by those septic tanks because there's so many of them that the nitrogen is leaching into and killing the lobsters and the fish and all those things. So think about it. You know, what's the regulation? Right now, I know Steinhoff has a drain that drains into the neighbor's pond, which then goes to the river. That's how that was for years.
I know.
Years.
I know.
So keep that in mind. Let's do septic first. Sewage.
Which is also addressed in the lake before from everybody was issued. Comprehensive plan.
Should we now make a motion and resolve to keep this public hearing open, or how does the board feel? Or I guess I'll say, any other members of the public, would anyone else like to say anything? Please, thank you.
My name is Kristen Eaton, and I'm a bit nervous to comment. This is my first meeting I've attended, but I've heard a lot of really thoughtful comments. I live on 86, and my husband and I have a new canoe business that we're building up, and my first home was a modular home, so I relate to that. It was a great starter. I think that I agree with what Ed said, that I think that we need to pump the brakes a little bit. I like the idea of just like, there's a lot of passionate comments that were made, a lot of thoughtful comments, and I think it does warrant to just maybe take a step back and make sure that we're getting the right language together and kind of coming together. There has to be like maybe a happy medium that we can get to, but I agree that just pumping the brakes and really thinking about what this means long term. And someone said planning for the worst case scenario. I don't know what the worst case scenario is, but I do think that it's important upfront to really be thoughtful about the language and what that means. Not that people haven't been, but what I'm hearing is that people maybe want to pump the brakes and put more thought into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Lisa, I said it to her.
Thank you.
Good job with that.
Welcome to your first meeting.
Thank you.
You could live in this room.
I too have, yeah. I hear you. But thank you.
Mary,
I have a home, Jay, but my home in Wilmington is because I've always been here. I was brought up here. Now I am selling my home in Jay. And I've been looking for land, I've been looking for rental, maybe build, maybe buy. And I'm looking at everything that's for sale and it's like, I can't afford that. You know, I mean, everything's getting, and I don't blame anybody for selling what they're selling for. If you can get it, fine. But I understand Laura. You know, I'm looking for something small. You know, I don't need anything big. It's just me, a dog, a bird. You know, when Dawn said, well, this is a great site, it is a great site. It'd be a great site for me. But I think the biggest thing in Wilmington right now is getting people to clean up their property. I mean, building a little tiny house, yes, maybe it's gonna be good, maybe it's not. But look at some of these places. Why aren't we just having people clean up a little bit? You know, I mean, I have a home in Florida. I can't even leave a garbage can outside my door.
Well, we don't want to become to that, though.
You know, I just.
Dawn, let her talk.
It just needs to be, I mean, I'm not putting anybody down, no, but I'm just saying there are some places that people aren't living there anymore. And they've just left the stuff there. You know, just pick it up a little, or like somebody in here said, let us help you pick it up. You know, I just think that we need to address all these little things. You know, because like I said, a little tiny house, maybe it isn't for other people, but maybe it is for some that people can't, I mean, the older people are just getting priced right out of this area. They can't live here.
And young people.
And young people.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, a few more seconds if anyone has anything else to say. Pat Lynch.
I really enjoyed the article in the Adirondack Enterprise. Those were some eye-opening statistics that you had there.
Ending on a positive note, that's good. Maybe not.
Thank you. Well, we're the owner of a double wide trailer and a modular. They're night and day. My modular is stick built with a stick built in a factory, brought up on a trailer, craned off the trailer onto a full basement. The double wide is a double wide trailer. I'm currently doing a major overhaul on it right now, but and I don't look down upon anybody. I can honestly say that I probably there's a few families in the room or not in the room that grow up not well as others. And if you want to have something, then you better plan for it. Spend your money wisely, plan for the future, otherwise you're gonna be stuck out in cold. And with that said, my assessment is over $500,000 where I'm living. I'm not gonna sell it for a dime less than that, probably more, because I've been paying on it. So I don't expect anybody to sell their houses for less than what they've been assessed for and paying for. It just, unless you won the lottery, and then you can sell it. But, so with that said, you know, I've been paying on it for that kind of money. If you lower, I could subdivide that lot and put a trailer on it, but that's not my cup of tea with it. What I'm getting at is there's parcels around me that if you lower it and I might get a good neighbor, I might get somebody good to come in and had a trailer and it's fine. Or I could get one that's like several in this town that's not good. And when I go to sell it, they're gonna be coming to my house and they're thinking, oh wow, it's a nice place, but I don't like my view because that one neighbor over there. So that's gonna take out, say, 20% of the people that's gonna be viewing my home to buy it. That's where I have a problem with the half-acre lot. Or the lowering the 3 acres to a half, to whatever the standard is for everybody. I was with Jerry and them on that committee, which I was one of the ones that they turned down. So I know, I understand both sides of the coin. There was a lot up in Quaker that I was trying to get, and that's before they lowered the lots up in Quaker. Now I can build on it, which I do currently own, so I'm lucky. So with that said, you really do have to plan it and organize it and make sure that everybody is protected. Just because you lived here and grew up here doesn't really give you a right to have a place here. You gotta work on it. And if somebody comes from out of state, that's what they're gonna do. They could buy that lot in the corner that's for sale for $85,000, and they could put a trailer on it. It could be a beautiful trailer, or it could be an eyesore. We already have a double wide on Main Street that, in a corner that's kind of an eyesore. And there's another regular house in eyesore. But either way, I just want to make that point that I'm not looking down on anybody that lives in a trailer. But some owners of them don't maintain them. Versus you take the owner of a house, there's more people that maintain them than what people maintain if they're living in a trailer.
That is the definition of looking down on someone.
No, I'm just telling you, people aren't maintaining them.
That's derogatory.
Now we're having a discussion.
Okay, I think we're going to pause this public hearing. And, well, I'll make a motion to keep the public hearing open until the start of the next regular monthly meeting. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carries. Do any board members, I mean, there's a few things I'd like to clarify, but I'll extend the courtesy of the floor to the other board members first. We can go around the table. Would you like to go first, Anna?
I think there have been a lot of good points. I definitely think I also probably fall in the demographic that you mentioned, Evan. Sorry, I won't get people specifically. I certainly feel like I'm being priced out of Wilmington a little bit, and this could be something that helps to alleviate that. But I also can see the concerns of the worst case scenario of what would happen. It's not necessarily always going to be that best case scenario that everybody's thinking of. So, maybe working a little bit on the definitions and getting the language a little bit more specific and stricter. Maybe we pick specific locations where we do this, where we can guarantee that the screening is what everybody wants and it's not in, the corridor that everybody talks about. I think there's some additional detail that we could add in there that might help alleviate some of the concerns. For sure.
Well said. Or would you like to say anything?
I believe that the resolution for the law was left clean so that we could take public feedback. And to say it was poorly written hit me wrong. And I don't think anything, the amount of energy and time put into, we are really putting a lot of thought into this, and we could have had a ton of specifics on this, and we would have been, nothing would have been right. Something would have been wrong. The point of the public hearing, and I believe Tim has done an excellent job of leaving this, and it was his idea to leave this clean so we could just come back with answers from the public. So there was nothing poorly written about this, in my opinion. I think it was a very astute concept to leave it clean. So I'm going to say that. Number two, the septic systems in the town that people keep crying about are code regulated. If it's on a half-acre lot, it has to have the correct setbacks, regardless of if there is a stick-built home on it or whether there is a manufactured home on it. that's where I'm gonna leave it at the moment.
Thank you. That's a good point, that we did leave it clean intentionally to see what the public thought. And then, because we did previously have a lot more in it, and we took it out, and we're waiting on public comment to see what we would do next. And I do agree that no matter what we did,
That was anything.
there would have been nitpicking and naysaying, but that's life, and that's this job. Hannah, I also agree with everything you said, so thank you. And I will just echo what you said about appreciating all the public comments. Definitely do give us things to think about as we try to get this to a point that more people are happy with it. We'll never get it to a point that every person is happy with it. I know that, I can tell you that much. The half-acre lot thing, these issues that are being brought up about half-acre lots, they also apply to any other type of dwelling on a half-acre lot. They're not specific to a manufactured home, a modular, a cross mod, or a trailer. There's any type of home that concerns about density. So the people who have concerns about half-acre lots, there was more than a decade prior to tonight that those concerns could have been raised. The substandard lots, I would say that, one place where I would, well, I'll leave that for later. Getting people to clean up their properties, yes, we'll talk about that. We'll look into it. That's all. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
I don't have anything. I already said my piece.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'd like to just kind of echo a few things that were said in the room, and I said this last meeting when it got turned around into somehow putting people down, and I don't think anybody in this room is here to put people down that you live in a manufactured home, or you live in a McMansion, as Evan called them, or you live in anything else. That's really not the point of what anybody's talking about here. One of my things is I fail to understand how this is going to address the housing crisis, and this is how it's being sold. And, Pat had made a comment, well, it's possible that somebody may buy the lot on a corner and put a trailer there, maybe a young family, but you did say something along those lines. And then Adam made the comment of, well, there's a possibility that somebody out of town could do the same thing. So if we allow, manufactured homes in the hamlet, it's going to detract from the natural beauty. We do complain about KOA and what's happened there. And then we allow, depends on the definition of manufactured home, and we've already had this discussion, but like if we did put a manufactured home on the Four Corners, or, for those of you that's lived in Wilmington, your whole life, knows where the handicraft store was, if we had a manufactured home put right there in the center of town, I don't think that that's necessarily going to be attractive or entice young families to come, because chances are if that lot is affordable, a young family already would have bought it and maybe built a small house. It's probably going to open up the doors for more people out of town to buy that lot and put something cheap in and use it as a vacation rental. I would like to see, and what I would propose for the town is kind of to loosen the regulations a little bit, but still give us a little bit of say. I don't believe that in the hamlet is necessarily the place for manufactured housing. I don't really believe it's the place for necessarily small homes either, but I am in favor of small homes. That being said, I don't think necessarily the hamlet should be the place for that. So I'd like to see that not opened up to half acre. Under my proposal, what I'd like to see is the moderate intensity lots, which is the 1 to 3 acre, those lots be opened up to that rather than being stuck on 3 acre with a site plan review. And that gives you the ability to set things for screening, making sure they meet setbacks and things like that. If we just open the door and not have site plan review anywhere, I think we may be really damaging the future of Wilmington, and then leave it as it is now, 3 acres plus permitted. So I'd like to see it opened up a little bit from that 1 to 3 with a site plan review, but I don't believe that they should be allowed in the hamlet. I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Thanks.
Can we say one more?
There was something I wanted to mention. Everyone, the board members, please review the second resolution from tonight, because what we've been talking about, everyone needs to review that and make sure that they understand it and make sure that they understand what we voted for tonight. Evan, please.
I want to say a lot of the sentiment that I bring to this meeting tonight is 100% tied to the Route 86 Springfield Fox Farm corridor. The center of town that everyone drives through and sees and has the emotional connection to, that's what I'm trying to protect. Like to Darren's point, we just need to get this stuff where it can't happen at the 4 corners of town, or where someone can sell their backyard lot and have it bulldozed for a tiny home in the center of town. That's the main thing for me is the hamlet corridor that tourists and visitors see that triggers them to come back or not.
Okay. On that note, it's a good quote for the end of the story. I agree with Pat. This article is excellent. If you haven't read it, very good. Depiction of the housing shortage and a lot of statistics. Very informative. Daily Enterprise article, I guess, yesterday came out, or the day before yesterday. I guess we'll take a brief recess and then we'll do the public hearing on local law 3, which should not be controversial. And so I think I'll make a motion to, we've motioned to keep it open. So procedurally, I guess I'll just bang the gavel and everyone can go. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat.
I'll have to say it. It's not gonna be controversial, it's gonna be quick. You're on the youth commission, right? You're the youth commission guy?
Yeah.
What's the name of that woman who's gonna,
What's that?
what's the name of that woman who's gonna run it? Colette? You know? Chelsea. Chelsea who? Right, okay. Do you have her contact information? Okay. Meg's got a friend who wants to give swim lessons.
Oh, it is, okay, yeah.
Just brought it up now for the first. Do you have Chelsea's friend's phone number? Would you text it to me? Meg has a friend who wants to give swimming lessons to the youth commission. Is the youth commission going to happen?
It's looking good.
Oh, good. Very good. Are you going to say for the next week? There's another involvement.
This was really loud.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to stay for the forestry?
Forestry.
It's 60 now.
So, so then I.
A lot of things should move, yeah.
So at the planning board, we said, what, we said 50 acres, 3 acres. That's not, we got a, checklist from that boy, did what it is, and they have to follow the checklist or
I do it all the time.
respond. Yeah.
So it doesn't take us down very long.
Yeah, well,
I was sitting over here because the sun was beating in.
I thought I smelled it first, and then I realized I don't smell
No. The sun was right
it. I
on
know,
my back.
it was. I built a sweatshirt. Same time I ride my bicycle, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. It's looking cold.
Oh, you gotta hang in there. Never know what happens.
I would, I am.
An ice pack is what I need.
Okay, everybody remember you're still being recorded.
Well, this is like a caffeine fast break.
Then we need.
I have a second if anybody needs it.
I need an ice pack right here.
That's good. That's the threshold.
I usually get some right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's
More. Did the headache go away?
No.
You want the second?
No.
Yeah, migraine going on.
No.
I thought, well, my
Tension.
tension.
It's probably tension. The main core.
Yeah, part of the people on the phone left to It's funny how everybody sits in the back of their shirt.
Yeah, somebody buy it.
I know all of that. Lost very beside me. On the corner.
You got rid of them. You don't have rid of them, you got rid of you.
Yeah. Across the house down there.
One of them that sold for
Talking out of like before we left here. I know who the person is that has the money for the electric system.
I should tell everybody, you want to do the right thing, don't sell your house for what you can get for it, sell it for assessed value, you can see how much will stand up for a few hours. Your house is assessed for 150, sell it for 150, don't sell it for 250. You want to be a stand-up person, then do it, if not, then, you know.
I won't sell it for $1 per assessment. There's no way, there's no way, so.
And she's not doing well either. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
There's your, commercial for.
If everybody's getting scammed, you sell your house for the assessed value, don't sell you what you can get it for, sell it for assessed value.
Jay sent me this photo.
We were just talking about the other day, $5.20 an hour.
Jay said, shared this. Hayden drew this in the bathroom. It's his photograph. It's like him doing
Values go down in the town. The town's not headed in the right direction.
How cute is that?
Right.
You wanna live in a town where your property values are going up.
And then he
Girls
says,
are
Living in the town the other way,
It's-
the town is not headed. in the
she
right
buys me all my clothes, so.
I mean, look at the businesses aren't here now.
That were here 25, 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's down in booming. Have you remember your dad had a garage? My father, they were right up there.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're obviously lucky there's
Yeah, just sell for assessed value, don't sell for market value, sell for assessed, we're gonna do the right thing, just start to do it and sell it for what's assessed for, don't sell it what you get. See how many people do that, not a one.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm talking about Roy. Yep.
How old were you? 6 when you moved up here? So, 50 years ago? 50 years ago.
So Roy, if he was a real man, he'd come to the meeting rather than sit home and listen to it on the speaker. Can you hear me, Roy?
Is he me?
He'll probably send me the middle finger emoji here in a minute.
He just read it. So.
Yeah.
Might be called to. Does it sign in?
Oh, okay.
I did send something. Probably the middle.
Did he send you?
Yeah, he did. So he must have heard me.
He stopped texting me. So.
He did, right there. There it is. That's real nice. That's nice, Roy. I know you care.
You're number one.
Yep.
No, I love them to death. I love them. They are, I'm gonna look up her story.
Yeah, so what is?
I read them for like 4 years. No, I love them.
She wears them all the time.
All the time. They're-
She usually has her hat on and her boots on.
I have rain on, so I'm always freezing. They're wool lined, and I have wool fronts.
So you wear them into the summer?
Well, no, I wear them until there's no snow.
Maybe if they put the right name. If they put their name.
Okay.
If they put the right hue.
Okay, all right. But if they put your name, you can
I'll be
actually
ready.
use it on.
Yeah.
I had someone bombard me. You know who that was?
Yeah.
Yep. What a world.
Mhm.
I'm looking for that paper with the formal language that I'm supposed to read. It's just somewhere.
You have to read it again?
It's a different hearing,
The other one?
different law.
I don't have it.
No, it's in this pile somewhere.
There's another one in the bulletin board in our room in the.
Okay. All right.
Want me to go?
Laura found it.
Don't you see volunteers walk?
Really pretty good. Yeah, well, he's carrying stuff because of the.
Not gonna do much this time.
No.
Call this meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for sticking around. So I'll read the language that I am told I need to read to open this public hearing. Public notice, Town of Wilmington, New York, notice of public hearing on proposed local law 3 of 2026 of the Town of Wilmington. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 20 of the Municipal Home Rule Law of the State of New York and pursuant to a resolution adopted on March 10th, 2026 by the Town Council, Town Board of the Town of Wilmington, the Wilmington Town Board will hold a public hearing on March 25th, 2026, immediately following the public hearing on Local Law 2 at the Community Center, 7 Community Center Circle, Wilmington. At the public hearing, the Town Board shall hear all interested parties regarding the adoption of proposed Local Law 3 of 2026, titled A Local Law to Correct an Error in the Zoning Ordinance of the Town of Wilmington. Additional information, including copies of proposed Local Law 3 of 2026, may be obtained from the Town Clerk's office, 7 Community Center Circle, P.O. Box 180, Wilmington, New York. Thus concludes the formal legal language I needed to read. I have a motion to open this public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we'll have the same rules as last time. I'd be a little surprised if there's much discussion, but I've been surprised before in my life, so We'll see. Please just raise your hands and I'll call on you. We'll give them a minute. And I think we'll close this public hearing, which is kind of past this at the next meeting.
The county.
Oh, that's right. We have to wait for the county to review it and approve it. Their 30-day review process has started. Okay, hearing no comments from the public, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, can open the floor to public comments at this time. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
We're not gonna discuss this one.
What?
Like you last time as a board, we discussed it.
I don't know.
The local law number 3 that we just had the public hearing on.
I think
You're right. Okay, fine. You're right. No problem.
Okay.
I thought that's what he asked.
Yeah, I thought that's.
No, he asked if there was.
Oh, any public comment?
Just to clarify for the public, if for anyone who doesn't know, this is simply, and the reason why there was no public comment is this is simply fixing a mistake in the zoning code. 2 lines are reversed. So I didn't expect there to be a lot of public comment. I feel that we've known about this for years and we're taking care of it.
So I totally agree with it and don't have any question about it. I was just hoping at the same time, if there's a way that we could clean up something else that this also addresses.
Okay.
And that being said is a definition again, much like the other law.
Okay.
What is forestry considered?
Okay.
And what is not considered forestry? So when does forestry kick in? If I clear 5 acres, is that forestry?
No.
So that's what I want to be defined because I don't know what is considered forestry and what is not considered forestry.
Well,
that's what, so I understand this law and I don't disagree with it, Tim. I'm just hoping that we can clarify that. So when somebody comes in front of the board and say, hey, I have 10-acre lot that I want to clear 5 acres of it for fields and I want to clear another acre for my house site. Well, is somebody going to come to the town and say, well, they did 5 acres of forestry? What is considered forestry? I just want it to be defined. So when this happens, there's no question.
It is defined. Yeah.
And it says how big it's considered forestry.
No, but I think it'll answer your questions.
Forestry, according to our code, article, blah, blah, I don't know. I'm not Roman numeral.
Yeah, 8 or whatever.
Forestry use, forest practices, logging is any management, including logging of a forest, woodland, or plantation, and related research and educational activities, including the construction, alteration, or maintenance of wood roads, skidways, landings, fences, and forest drainage systems. That's our definition in our code of forestry use and forest practices and logging.
So that's why I was hoping we could clean it up because again, that doesn't really answer my question. We had it happen on 86. Somebody cleared maybe 5 acres for a tree farm. Was that considered forestry? But we don't know that. I don't know the answer to that.
See, the thing is clearing for development is not forestry. For logging for the sake of logging is forestry. But logging for the sake of development is not forestry, which Doug did say to me, you know, this, while this does need to be done, this isn't the answer. This isn't going to solve the problems. It'll solve some problems. It'll help. It should have been done years ago, but it's not going to solve the things that people are unhappy about. But I think that is for another local law. I would like to just get this on the books because it needs to be on the books rather than spend, I mean, because to do what, to deal with clearing and logging and clearing for development, et cetera, and putting parameters around that, that's not a 2-month process. That's a multi-month process. And I would just like to get this on the books first. Pat, please.
Isn't that something that we are addressing in the planning board, and then we come up with something and then hand it over to you guys to either approve?
That is your right to do. That is your role. It's not mandatory. Like, we can bring up ideas of our own volition. We don't have to wait for the planning board.
Well,
That was just
we
an
are doing
excuse. That was just an excuse. We're not making excuses. Good, great, good. Excellent. That is your right under our code, and your role under our code is to make suggestions. So.
You started doing that when I was on the planning board,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
So under section 4, that was basically just added, and we're basically still just penciling back in 50 acres and leaving it as is.
I don't understand the question.
So you have section 4 with blanks. And it kind of says 1 and 2 up here.
That's an old draft.
Right. I never know what draft it had because we usually have 10 drafts of everything, so.
Here's the new one. I
Yeah.
think Dawn
No,
usually
go get
has the
my-
most recent one.
Alright,
I don't know, I thought I had circulated that.
you maybe have, but like I said, in my papers, we have multiple drafts, and sometimes if they had dates of when they were actually, so I knew which draft was the newest, it'd probably be helpful in the future, just maybe if that's something you can put on them.
Yes, yep. Put them in like headings or footers in gray.
Exactly, just so we know, all right, draft dated 3/1, draft dated 4/1, whatever, and then I know I have the right one.
And I know I have to write one too.
Right, because sometimes it does get confusing.
You might need timestamps too.
Sometimes there's 2 or 3.
All right. Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, carried. Thank you all for coming.
Busted.
So that was nearly as painful.
No.
No.
Thought it was gonna be a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dawn, I told you